I fixed it.
All right. Asa, you turned off FD Japan for this. Don't do that. Keep it going.
FT Japan.
There's always interesting things on Japan, especially how they drive. Hey, everybody. Oh, I don't even have music going. Holy crap. I guess you wouldn't hear it anyway, but it goes in the background. Hold tight.
You've been messing with layouts too much.
Oh, I should post my layout for competition. That'll be intense.
Oh, the new camera crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new go bag.
Yeah, so I got rid of the bag, and then I added two more bags for like the crap that I need to take for competition.
Yep.
But hey, we've got some like epic new hardware that we're gonna be testing out tomorrow, and for live stream. Hopefully live stream goes well. Hopefully I can find enough extra spare hands that are just willing to take control of a camera and then do all kinds of weird stuff with it. For competition. Hey, Mile High, thanks for being awesome. You guys can't see it, or like you might be able to see it if it's still in chat, but he's got another super chat right at the very beginning. So thank you for that. There we go. Now we got concurrent viewers and love and all that stuff. In the chat, we've got Azza, we've got RC Mitch, we've got Sean Lewis Media, we got Slide Squad, and you guys, we've got Christopher here. He is live. He's
What's going on, guys?
raw.component. Wow. Yeah. At raw.component on Instagram.
There it is.
There it is. And we also got Lance here. Logan is out and about doing some moving of some moving apartments. Yep. He sent me a picture of his new office.
All-day endeavor there.
That's like a weekend endeavor.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I moved at this point right now. That'd be like
traumatizing.
That'd be a nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to get the tractor trailer, or can you go the U-Haul route?
Oh, it would definitely be
full U-Haul.
The full U-Haul.
The big one, yeah.
A big one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, half. Well, not half, but maybe a quarter of that U-Haul trip would be like the love sack from, yeah.
Oh, you have some of those? Those are so awesome.
Yeah, they're huge. Like, we had a full-sized van, like 10-passenger van, and it filled the entire back of that when we were first moving it from Albany to Lebanon. It's huge.
They're huge, but they're so comfortable once you just melt back into one of those things.
Yep. You just jump into it. You fluff it up by relieving some pent up energy and anger and whatnot, and then you just jump into it. It's great. Then you just watch a movie, or when you're sick, you can just like cuddle up in it. It's great. Anyway, hey, we're at the it's 8:04 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are doing the RC Drift Talk of the weekend. Doing the normal thing, doing all the fun things. We're going to start off with calendar events, get into an interview thing, and all that other stuff. So for calendar events, I don't have Logan to confirm, or Chris, or anyone from the PDX area, because none of us are actually from the PDX area. Tandem Tuesdays are still a thing. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're done with their series, maybe, potentially. But beyond that, June 16th, tomorrow, is round number 3 for SDC PDX. This will also be the last competition where DRPs and ASO1s will be accepted as the spec tire for competition. Anything moving forward, we're going to be on LF3s.
LF3s, yeah.
July 4th. So round 4 is July 14th, 5 is August 11th, and September 8th is the finals. And I don't know what happened, because we had some sort of like confusion. Actually, no, I know exactly what happened. we'd posted one poster and then made a correction, and I
no
had
one
to repost
saw
it.
the repost apparently ever.
Yeah, and because it was supposed to be last week. Round 3 was supposed to be last week.
But we got kicked out, so we had to move it.
Right, but no one complained about it either.
No,
Like,
but no one also bothered to check the updated one, which was hilarious.
right. Like, I wonder if someone was showing up last week just for competition.
I hope not. That'd be
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
That would be a drag.
Yeah.
Major drag this for competition. Nobody's there.
Yup.
I mean, at least you'd have a good driving day.
No,
Yeah,
'cause
for
it was
sure.
closed.
But-
they had the track.
Oh,
off.
that's right. That's right.
Oh,
It was
wow.
buggy
Totally
race.
covered.
Closed doors.
Yeah, it was totally covered. There was no track. There wasn't a tracking until Tuesday this week.
Gotcha. Yeah. August 2nd is S-Fest in Salem Fairgrounds. So that'll be a fun place. I don't think Jake will be available for that one, so we got to figure out who
Logan's
we're.
setting up.
Yeah. So, ooh,
Do some
that
track.
might be problematic because Logan has a has a different car than what he used to have. So, I don't know if he kept the wagon.
Well, he's still got the wife's Crosstrek, right?
Does he?
I would hope so, because that wasn't his, was it?
I mean, I would hope so too.
I don't know.
Other than that, I mean, Jake has a lot of crap too. Like,
I know.
so it
That's the
takes,
whole back of his truck.
yeah, it takes all of that, all of the Tacoma to get it there.
Yep.
So thank you, Jake, for being awesome.
Yeah.
Although you're driving right now, like at the track, so that's cool too. Anyway,
Late night Saturdays.
yeah, I honestly, it's kind of weird because PDX switched Saturdays, so not just Fridays, but Saturdays from like 5 to midnight or 6 to midnight or something like that, right?
Nope.
So yeah, all kinds of things happening. Anyway, we've got Christopher here. We need to like talk to him, answer some questions, and kind of figure out who he is, what he's about, what Drift Dreams is about.
Yeah, go ahead and fire away. Where do you want to start?
Let's just start off with who you are, where you're at. Where's your home track?
All right, so I'm Christopher Hawkins. I am located in Phoenix, Arizona. My home tracks are Tandem RC and Bubble Belt Battlegrounds.
Okay.
And outside of that, I like to be creative, so I create a lot of stuff. I'm a creative person.
Right. You have raw component. I don't know why I want to call it raw concepts like all the time, but
It could be. A lot of the stuff that I do kind of behind the scenes or for a lot of local people, especially in the hobby, is a lot of prototype parts. So people will come up and have, a camera mount, or they need a special bracket for their chassis, or just some experimental part that doesn't exist. And then we'll take and hash it out and take and make a prototype for those guys and let them run it and see where it goes.
right on. Have you done a vector mount for a GoPro?
I have not.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah,
We might have to
do
take
work
and talk about that. We should make a note of that. Vector mounts.
Yeah. Joey up in Canada, he drives at Elite, not Elite. What is it? Drift 88.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he brought his down, and they work really good.
Really? Okay. I did look into that.
Yeah.
Right now I have a
pretty cool.
couple camera mounts to do, and all the cameras are different. Like you have your GoPro, and then you have other cameras that are even smaller shape now and different stuff, but they all use that same common thread to take and mount the camera to the post.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unless you're an Insta360 and have that weird little like magnet mount thing.
That like box thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are weird.
They put out some good imagery though. I think that's a really cool technology.
Yeah, so cameras that are super small are like, especially action cameras. Action cameras are always getting more awesome and awesome. It's just I can't justify like a $400 action camera.
Especially for a
Yeah,
limit.
you would need to be doing that all the time to justify it.
Yeah.
Yep. Like when I was
think
flying
you would
drones.
make excuses for it.
Yeah, right. when I was flying drones, I was all about it. I had like 2 sessions, and they do good, but yeah, not in that mode anymore. Okay, which track are you closer to? Are you closer to Bubble Milk or Tandem?
Tandem. So actually, I spend more time at Tandem than I do Bubble Milk just because of the distance. Tandem is about maybe 15 to 20 minutes away from our mat, and Bubble Milk can be around an hour or so.
Okay.
So I definitely need to plan more for that one. But I really enjoy going back and forth because there's different people at both tracks, and they both have kind of a different vibe to them. So it's fun to go back and forth. Also, my home team, Drift Dreams, is at the Battlegrounds track. And then I also drive for Team Tandem at Tandem, so I kind of go back and forth.
Nice.
Okay. On. Now, all of your STC competitions are over at Bubble Milk, right?
Right.
Like that's the thing? Okay.
That's the thing.
Any
So
talks?
everything's held over there. That's like the hub for everything. We all meet up over there, and they put on a really good event over there.
Well, that's good.
Nice.
It is good. And then you have like, so it's Drift Dreams, and then Tandem, Team Tandem, and then Tech One is heavily over there too, right?
There's a
There's a
big
chapter
Tech One
over there.
presence too. Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Wait,
It makes for some fun rivalries.
right? Is Brenna and Kalai still a part of Tech One, and then also driving for RCO?
As far as I know.
Okay.
As far as I know. I don't want to spread any rumors, but as far as I
Right.
know, yes.
Like, yeah, I don't know the answer to that for sure. Okay.
Last time I saw them, they both had their gray shells on, so that was definitely Tech One.
I was thinking about this the other day. How all of these sponsored guys have their team bodies and whatnot, and it's like they will always keep those bodies. Like that's a lifetime body. Like because you can't just go selling those.
It's kind of obvious when
No.
one gets sold.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's no good. And then all the bodies, I don't know about for you guys, but I find I get very sentimental with some of the bodies.
Oh, for
I
sure.
remember so many times I've had with them, or just periods of massive growth in the hobby with a particular body.
For sure.
So I don't see myself getting rid of it unless it's massively destroyed.
Same. I think I've only ever sold one body.
I've never had
Actually,
a team
I'll
body.
pull it down here. My most destroyed body. It's not even an RC drift.
It's a TTO2. What is
No,
it?
no, it's gonna be a slash body.
Even more random. It's a
Oh my God.
front wheel drive mini.
That's fantastic.
I made this body in the early 2000s, and I used to race this in spec races with some of my buddies. So it's been through a whole lot. It's all dinged up.
What
That would
chassis
I have
is
a
it?
new one, but
It's the front wheel drive
it's
to me.
it's the MO2, the
Yeah,
front wheel drive one.
yeah. Those would
So
be.
you can
I've always
see
wanted one.
The
'Cause it
battery and
sounds
the motors
like
up front.
Yep.
These things are so much fun. Like to put one of these together, drive it, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that front wheel drive hasn't like. I've never seen a class for it. Although I've never seen like.
Me neither.
I think to me is the only one.
Me
that
neither.
does.
The guys that I would run with, we took in, there was about 5 of us, and we would take and get together outside and put up a course, and it usually had a few curbs and maybe little tiny jumps and stuff like that, and we would just go for it.
That's great.
Robin was racing. We had some rules, but honestly, we were all cheating. So,
Wait. What did this cheating consist of?
so originally when we got the cars, it was just something to do in between classes. And
Okay.
so we said that we're all going to get the same kit. We're going to get the Tamiya. I think it's MO2 or MO3. I forget what the exact chassis designation is. But we all got the same kit. We all built them on the same night so that we can all see what everybody's putting into the car and we can keep it equal. But what I found was once we started racing and all the races were really close, suddenly some of the drivers would be significantly faster than the other ones compared to the previous week. And there's no way to be significantly faster with all the same kit.
Yeah.
And so I believe the way it started out is one guy ended up putting oil-filled dampeners on his Mini. And so his car handled better. Other guys, we were supposed to all run stock motor, so the motor could not be modified. but people were starting to play with the springs and stuff, to play with the brushes on the motor.
Yeah.
And then I went to a hobby shop, and I found at this shop they had a limited slip differential for the car, lightweight internal components, hard foam inserts for the tiny wheels, and a couple other gadgets. So I bought all that stuff from this hobby shop out of this like liquidation bin that they had, and put all that stuff on the car because most of it you can't see it. It's just on the inside. And my car got a lot faster.
That's funny.
It is funny.
After that, the rules kind of went out the window.
Right? Like, have you seen any of the like the stock spec rules for like TTO2 classes and stuff like that?
No, not in detail.
It's funny the things that. Well, I mean, even the RDX Masters like stock class, right? It's like there are only certain things that you can actually change about the chassis. Elsewise, it's modified in some way or somehow.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's really that gray area tuning that needs to be watched. Because the gray area tuning is where you can do a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Even if it's just spinning dampener, tensioner, or height adjustment, like it's ride height on an
Is that
RDX.
actually outlawed?
Oh, I don't imagine that it would be, but it would be funny if everyone had to run at like a what is it? It's a 5 mil ride height with the body.
Like, yeah, just a set ride height.
Okay.
I always wondered about with the RC drifting. Like I know like the DT86 platform and stuff like that has come out. It seems like that's almost its own category.
Oh, the
I
LP?
wonder if that would be something that people, the LP. I wonder if people would take and would enjoy doing some kind of a class where it's like that. It's just very limited on what you can do, and it's just more of a driver's class.
Yeah, Super G's trying to do it, but I don't think they have enough people yet.
Well, they pushed it back because no one can get their hands on them.
Yeah, their second run is supposed to be out next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just slow rollout because D-like.
I mean, it is what it is. Like, I do kind of think that this is going to be a fad that goes away, though. Like, yeah, the chassis is cool, the chassis is cheap, but as far as competition level goes, they're not legal, which is why they're trying to create their own class for it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think it'll be interesting because if it catches on out there, I feel like it will take and kind of filter out to other places and become its own thing.
Yeah.
I still need to order one. Like I did tell myself, if D-like ever made a
affordable chassis.
no, not even affordable. I mean, affordable is nice, but like a brand new specific to rear-wheel drive chassis, then I would buy it. Which is why, they're not legal because of pan car life.
All rear axle.
Yeah, no independent rear suspension.
Not even independent front.
Yeah.
No independent anything.
It's all linked together.
Yep.
But the funny thing is that like the people that have them that I've driven, they drive fine. Like it is a different driving style.
Yeah, they get down.
I've
driven
style.
2 of them, I believe now, and they drive really well. I find the builds that I was running, they had kind of like more mild motors inside. So the whole time you're just pegging the throttle and just going for it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like the recommended motor is a 17.5.
Yeah.
Like,
so everyone's putting like budget electronics with low boost, low turbo, or none.
Which is great.
They're purposefully underpowered, is what people are doing with them.
And you can feel it, but it almost feels like the underdog kind of chassis out there. You're just trying to keep up with everybody or not slow down the big train.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
However, like in the corner, they are superb in the corner because like they will they will lean over and they will grab.
Yep.
And then they just go. Going straight doesn't work out so well.
No, they don't drive straight.
Yeah, straight is like the weakness. Straight or that transition area.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into other questions here. Personally, my favorite question: if we were to come down and play for a day, or like for any sort of time, where would the best place to eat be?
Oh man, It depends on what you like. So I'm very habitual with the foods I eat. I tend to eat a fair amount of fast food if I'm going to go out to the track. So I'll start with local places and then go to more just regular stuff. So usually there are two Greek spots that I like to go to. One of them is called the Greek's Grill. It's a little bit south of where Tandem RC is. But I usually go there and I get the chicken shawarma with fries. I'd say I get that almost every week. Actually, matter of fact, I had it yesterday. So I really like that place a whole lot. I know the owners in there. I would recommend that the most. And then I think it was last week or the week before that, a friend of mine, Jim, he recommended a place called Haji Baba, which is another Euro place, but they also have a Middle Eastern store in the same facility. And both flavors of these Euro places are different. So I can't recommend one over the other one necessarily. They're just that different, but those would be what I'd recommend first. When I go out to Battlegrounds, I go to a place called Tacos Khalifa. I usually get about 5 or 6 tacos, and they have a salsa bar there, and I just load these tacos up with all sorts of stuff. And then when I get to Battlegrounds, Dave, the owner there, has a dog, a large dog. He likes to help me eat the tacos if I let him. So sometimes I'll bring a little extra for him so we can take and share some taco meat.
Nice.
Other than that, I'm a big fan of Chick-fil-A, Shaq's Big Chicken, Burger King. I don't know what it is about Burger King, but Burger King has been a big one for me. I always have a Whopper in my hand. And then I try and counterbalance all of that with fruit. So I'll bring blackberries or grapes or kiwis or whatever I get my hands on, melons. And I'll usually have those in my pit bag when I go to the track and just snack on that.
Nice.
Very cool.
What about where you're at? What do you prefer to eat out there, Adam?
If I'm at the track,
Yeah,
Whatever's there.
specifically.
I kind of suffer actually.
You
So
graze on other people's foods.
I do not.
No. I'm just saying that's what you do in general at the track. If someone brings a pizza, you graze pizza.
So you have to bring food or you have to chip in on a pizza?
I mean, not particularly. If anything, I am the one that's like saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go get a pizza.
Yo.
You better be eating this because I don't want to go home with it."
Yeah.
But there's a pizza place, Ernesto's, which is right above the track, but around the front side of the building complex. It's there, and that's why it's a thing. Elsewise, it's only subpar pizza. I'd rather just have Domino's deliver or whatever. Outside
I
of
like
that,
Domino's.
I do not like Domino's.
really?
No, I hate
It seems so polarizing. A lot of people say they hate Domino's. They'll never get it. It works for me. I like it. Although I would say Hungry Howie's is probably my best pizza that I would get outside. That's also near
gotta
the
be a
track.
local thing.
Yeah, it must be
Never
local.
heard that.
So okay, if I'm here in Lebanon, not the track or anything like that, my go-to is gonna be like Chipotle. And mainly
Chipotle,
Chipotle.
okay.
In Albany,
There's a-
even in Albany, your go-to is Chipotle.
Yeah, I mean Chipotle was right across the parking lot, so like,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
That was easy.
Domino's is trash in New Zealand. Good to know. No, what's crazy is pizza in Japan. Like, have you seen any of the YouTube videos about pizza in Japan and it being like 40, 50 US dollars? It's crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah, but they got crazy pizzas though, like
They do have crazy pizza.
weird stuff.
I mean, I've gone out of my way to make a homemade pizza that had broccoli beef on it. That didn't go over so well.
Broccoli beef pizza. Okay.
Yeah.
No, there's no marinara sauce on that one, I'm assuming.
There's no marinara sauce on it. It was weird. It didn't go over so well.
It seems like it could be okay. I don't really mind broccoli and veggies on my pizza. I mean, that's cool.
Maybe if it was like a what do they call them? It's like a hot pocket. But
Yeah, or calzone, I think it is.
Yeah, calzone.
Yeah. Mhm.
Apparently you love pho.
Oh, Trey, yeah, Trey's laying out the secret. Yeah, I like pho.
That's good.
We actually
Pho is
took
very
it and we went to the Matsuri in Colorado, and as soon as we got off the plane, Trey found a pho place and we tore it up.
Now,
But
okay,
he was
was it like a genuine name or was it like a Pho 276 or whatever?
it was more like that. But inside experience was proper, I felt.
Yeah,
I actually don't know. I've never been to Vietnam, so I couldn't tell you what legit pho is, but after having quite a bit of different places, this one was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
So good. I drank all the broth from the bowl after I was finished.
Oh, geez, that's a lot. I never finished the broth.
No, I can't.
I'm surprised by that. People will just leave all that good savory broth just sitting there. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Just go on and drink it.
Are you a fish oil guy?
No,
Okay, neither.
no. I like lime.
I don't like
Fish
lime.
oil. No.
I don't know what
I
it is.
usually, when I order my pho, I will order extra lime and just squeeze all those dudes in there and go for it.
Hmm.
But no fish oil and no sriracha.
Aw. Okay.
So I know some people, they like to mix both those together, get their ratio correct, and then go in.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it to taste more light with a little bit of a citrus finish.
Okay. It'll give it a more like fresh and
Yeah.
kind of
And
like
then put
a
all those
cleansing feel.
veggies, the bean sprouts and the basil, all that stuff, put it in there. The jalapenos, all that stuff.
I'm definitely a bean sprouts guy. Not so much the basil. Because I guess it gives the same effect as like limes do. Like
Yeah,
in
it gives
that
it kind of a
mindset.
more fresh flavor.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Although if we talk
I
to
find
Lance-
usually when I go people, I'm able to steal a lot of those leaves because most people just don't
Right.
really care for it.
Lance will be a fan of ramen.
Yeah, any ramen. I like pho's good too, though, or pho. I've had pho quite a bit. There's a good Vietnamese place down here that does really good stir fry, really good pho.
Sounds amazing. What's your go-to ramen as far as actual dish?
Down here, we have a local place called Toshi's, and they've been around forever. And the guy that runs it actually went to Japan, became a ramen master, came back here, started a shop, and now he runs it with his kids. And I like just basic. I like just basic ramen. So shoyu original. So shoyu just broth and then just basic ramen.
Okay.
Simple, but yeah.
I need to try more ramen. I've had ramen a handful of times, but I don't think I've given it a fair chance to really go out and try different versions.
A lot, I don't know, a lot of places I've been to, because we have a lot of Asian places here in like Eugene, Corvallis area, and we have like izakayas, lots of ramen places, stuff, and there's even a lot in Portland. It's all super overly complex, and there's a lot of stuff in it. I like just basic ramen without a bunch of crap in it.
Asa, you're not wrong. If I could do a food blog, I would totally do a food blog.
Yeah. But no,
Would you do it while you're eating? Like
Oh,
a
no,
mukbang,
no.
or is it more of a review?
Okay. If I had the guys to do mukbang, I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Like that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be a
But
fun.
like food by a track is important because you're there for all day, so you gotta know what's good around there. It's like when we went down to Super G, it was Raising Cane's was kind of the go-to. They were the only ones still open late, so you gotta know where to
You
go.
ever go to? This has become the food chat, but I like King Taco out there. I have to get.
I
it.
haven't done that. Haven't done that.
I'll come and hang out with you guys like more or so during Super G this year.
Yeah.
SeaWorld
Hopefully-
will come afterward.
Well, hopefully,
we
we'll
should
be back.
definitely do that. That'd be cool.
Don't
Actually,
disrespect
fun
In-N-Out.
fact. Fun fact. I believe I have 1 or 2 YouTube videos that I've done in the past. I don't have very many, but the one that I can remember right now was a mukbang video with King Taco,
Oh, right on.
and it's literally just me eating the burrito and describing how good it is, with all the extra salsa that I put in there.
Was it in your car?
No,
Like
it was
current
at my
trend.
place.
Current
No, I
trend is
took it
in your
home.
car. Like I just recently had the Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme with the Cheez-It in it.
Yeah,
It's yeah.
like the giant one, right?
Supposedly it was so soggy, like in terms of eating it. Like you could definitely taste that it was there, but there was no way that I'd be able to like unfold it and pull it out. No way.
Oh wow.
Anyway, so let's kind of cancel food blog here.
Yeah, no In-N-Out. We all know about In-N-Out. In-N-Out is you either love it or you hate it. I'm a fan. I like In-N-Out.
Trash.
I think
I hate it.
it's a good cheap burger. That is it.
It is good. It is cheap. Yeah.
Like
I rank it a little higher than that because whenever I get it, I'm usually starving, and it hits the spot every time.
The other part of this is that the closest one that we have here in Oregon is in Kaiser Station,
And it's 10 cars deep line at 2 a.m.
Oh yeah,
that's
line
at
is
2
always
a.m. During the day,
Oh,
it
during the day,
spans.
it's insane.
It goes
Yes.
into the baseball field, the baseball
Yeah.
diamonds or stadium's parking lot. Like,
You better really like that to sit in line for that long.
although if you actually go
I
inside,
would
it's not
probably
that bad.
just go to Burger King. To be honest,
Probably a
I'd
better
go to
option.
Burger King if they're open.
And then as far as like Chick-fil-A, because there's gonna be a Chick-fil-A going in somewhere soon. Like the only thing that I think like about their system is that like no matter where you go, it's like blocking traffic. Like
Mhm.
in Portland, it blocks traffic everywhere you go, and it's just like anyway,
Hopefully
So-
they fix that.
back to RC drifting. Let's get back to it. What got you started? Oh, actually, no, not. Well, kind of related to what got you started, but how long have you been drifting for?
Just over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, just over 2 years.
And what got you into drifting?
I've always liked cars in general. So I live in Arizona now, but when I lived in California, I had a crew of guys. We like to go in the canyons at night and drive around. Some of those guys may or may not have been drifting out there, and it may or may not have been really fun to watch.
Allegedly.
In
So that
Mexico.
kind of got me into the whole drifting thing.
Yeah.
And then I had some friends that also like to drift on track, and then watching, obviously, FD and stuff like that. It's really cool. So when it came to RC, how did I really get into it? I had a touring car. So I had a TC3. I still have it. TC3 all-wheel drive platform. And at the time, I was living in an apartment complex, and they had smooth, polished concrete inside the parking structure.
Mhm.
And I had kind of casually seen drift cars doing the thing, but I didn't really know anything about them. And I came across a post or something somewhere where it said you can get PVC pipe and cut that pipe and then shove it onto your wheels and get your touring car drifting. So that was actually how I started. I took and just put those tires on my touring car, kind of set up as best as I thought, which is really just making it look as halfway as possible, and then put it in the parking structure and just go for it. And then I had some coworkers that were also building more legit rear-wheel drive drift cars, including the gyro and everything. And so I got to try those out in the office, and I thought it was pretty fun. So when I moved to Arizona, I was getting more and more into it, and it's hot out here. So I was looking for something to do inside, and I was also looking to be able to meet people because I was new out here. And so I figured maybe I'll look up the RC drifting, and maybe there will be some in Arizona, but I was really doubting it. And it turned out that the track was about 15, 20 minutes from here. So then I was worried because I figured if I go into the track and I see anybody doing any legit drifting, I'm probably going to join in. And so I didn't go for a little while. But then in about 2 weeks, my curiosity really got to me. And I went into the track, and apparently I picked a good night because the track was hot. Everybody was in trains. I'm hearing all these high-pitched motors and sounds I'd never heard before. People are laughing. There's music. It looked like a really great time. And so I took and talked to the owners of the shop, and I was basically kind of picking cars on the track. And I said, I'm coming in here. I was looking for an MST at the time. However, I was pointing at cars on the track, and I said, I want my car to sound like that one. I want it to turn like that one, and I want it to bounce like that one. I wanted a hodgepodge of all this stuff, and I didn't know how to get there. And the guys just helped me put some stuff together. And so I ended up with a Yokomo YD2S. And that's how I started with it. And once I got the kit, I built it over the first weekend. And I was excited to get on track, but I had a business trip out of state. And so I ended up packing my car in my suitcase, and I took it with me, and I found the track up there. And actually, GGT was really one of my first track experiences with that car.
Nice.
which was interesting. If you've ever been to GGT, it's an awesome track, a high speed track, but as a beginner who's never really run it,
Tough.
It's kind of daunting. Yeah. But the guys over there helped out a lot, and I was able to make it in there pretty much every chance I could after work. And those guys kind of got me going and helped out a lot. So when I came back to Arizona, I had a little bit better footing when I got back out here. But it was still quite a journey.
So what you're telling me is you went to GGT and got power leveled, and then you came back and were just epic.
I wish I could say it was like that, but honestly, no. For me, power level just to be able to go around the track and maybe not hit the wall so much. I would pull out of the way of the trains and all that stuff. I really just drove on myself for the most part, or anybody else that was kind of spinning on track.
Sure.
And I believe what was happening was I still had this kind of like hot boy look that I wanted my car to have, like slammed, big pipes out the back and all this stuff. Basically the worst stuff you can do to really be competitive. So it took a while to get rid of that and actually start to understand that the alignment really made an issue, or really made a big change in the cars, figuring out how to get the weights right, figuring out the wheels and all that. So it was a big learning experience for me, because I'm used to monster trucks and things outside where you just, throw it on the ground and you run all day, and it's not very finicky.
I mean, I would say that those things are even more finicky than our drift cars are. But, I
don't know. I mean, over here, where is it? Here, I still have my old T-Max. That thing was never really finicky, even though it was a nitro truck.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really enjoyed doing those. And then I had the crawlers too. The crawler, just throw it down and it goes over everything.
Yeah.
But I found with the drip car, like tinkering with all the little settings, and also when I was new, not knowing what any of those holes did or what anything would do for the car as far as the radio and like that. And then basically speaking a foreign language as far as the parts and the manufacturers, it was a pretty big learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoyed that whole process, and then got to meet a lot of cool people along the way in learning that.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, getting into this whole experience for like when you just started, like even after you got back from GGT and started doing laps on your home track, how long did it take for you to feel comfortable to join into the mix of like everyone's on track, you're in it, and you feel comfortable like following or even leading the train?
Compared to guys I see getting into it now, I feel like it took me a lot longer than those guys. I feel like the first maybe 6 months or so was just me trying to figure it out and just go through the motions with it. I didn't really do a lot of train driving. I spent most of my time just chasing people, not really leading. So my strategy was first just to figure out how to chase and how to take and tune the car for different surfaces, because like GGT was a very grippy surface. Then I came back to my home track. It was a very loose, polished surface. And then when I go to Battlegrounds, it's kind of somewhere in between. So there's all these different surfaces, and trying to figure out what would make my car work best on all of those was quite a journey. And I didn't like leading necessarily, because I don't know if it's a local thing, but I feel like in Arizona, we have quite a bit of speed sometimes. Like we get high on all this speed on the track, and then we pull it back and start getting back into the angle and everything. Even still with my Whitey 2, yeah, it was speed. Speed was a hard thing for me to figure out. I was always getting gapped. So I never liked to lead. I always wanted to just follow. So I'd say it was a good probably 6 months or so. And then one day I just was kind of daydreaming and just in a zone driving the car, and I realized I was able to train with people, leading and following, and it just happened naturally. I don't really know what caused it, but just one day it just clicked.
Gotcha. Did you play Car X at all?
No.
Okay.
I wish. I don't play a lot of video games, but I have played it on somebody's rig, and it looks cool.
It's totally okay if you don't.
Yeah. It's not bad, but it has its own learning curve if you use controller.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, I could see getting addicted to it. I used to really be into Grand Theft Auto pretty heavy. Like that was my primary game. I would go on there, and I like to do all those Hot Wheels looking tracks that they had in that game. And that would pretty much burn up a whole evening just doing that. So I ended up pulling out of video games for a little while, just because I know if I get more games, that's going to be even more the day consumed on games.
Right. It does take a good chunk of time when I do get like saturated into a game though. Not so much anymore. I haven't found anything that's been keeping my attention. The last thing was Pal World, and Pal World hasn't kept up with anything yet. So anyway,
I want to play. I think it's called Assetto Corsa, where you're in Japan and you're just kind of weaving through the traffic, playing cat and mouse.
oh, the no hesi tracks, or the just like the highway one.
Like the
Whatever
highway
those are.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some videos of guys in some crazy cars just like going through the highway and even drifting on some of the turns. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Azza says it's no hesi, or no hesitation, basically. So I haven't figured out no hesi. Shutoko Revival Project I have done. It's okay. It just depends on like who you play with, which I don't like playing with other people unless I know them.
I see. Mhm.
So like me trying to get onto like someone else's server is just like, it's not a thing for me.
I see.
I'm not that extroverted to be able to do that. But I do like put on Assetto myself sometimes, and like I'll put on the server and whatnot, and we have a good time.
hmm
It is fun, especially if you
like fun.
have a wheel and pedal set to go with it.
It seems like that's kind of mandatory if you really want to do something in there.
For Assetto,
is
yeah.
more conducive for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, right now is such a good time to get into sim racing. There's so many different companies, so many good price points that are out there right now that are like, it's kind of dumb if you don't like, if you want to do it, you should do it, because it's only going to get more expensive. It's only going to be like, it's a good time for entry is what it what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Even if it's like an old school G920 or a G29 or whatever, it's super basic, but it'll get you into the game and definitely like bitten for sure.
I still like my G25 over the 29, and that's even older.
25, not this 27.
No, the 25, the old one.
Logan got a
Yeah.
brand new SimuCube set up, I think.
Yeah.
That thing that'll be cool.
See, that's begging for a lot of time in the game. It can get really good. It'd be hard to just pass that by on a day basis.
Here's the thing though, like if you're on the road trip of getting into sim racing and all that the baggage that comes with it, you have to overcome the fact that you suck. Like,
It sounds like getting into RC drift.
I suck and I know it.
well, it's like you know that you can drive a real car in real life, but the instant that you put like your hands on that sim rig, and it's like, oh, I no idea whatsoever.
You gotta like relearn the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you gotta learn visual points and just how to set up your wheel and pedals. Like really. But I think it took me like a good month and a half, 2 months, was just like sitting there struggling.
Oh wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, just to get around a track. Like not even fully linking the track, but like some corners are okay and whatever. And of course I always practiced on Drift Playground, which is the one that has like Kermit the Frog flipping you off. Like everyone plays that track. Anyway,
Never seen it.
if you ever look up Assetto Corsa videos and drifting, you will definitely see it. So let's talk about the chassis that you're driving right now. What kind of chassis do you have?
So right now, I have 3 chassis, but my main competition chassis is a Yokomo YD2 ZX.
Okay.
And it's got it's running AccuVents right now, so I have a Luxon 13.5 motor on there. I have a Jarvis ESC, and I'm running the DDSS up front.
Okay. Anything special about your setup? Like any? Well, I guess we can
go. The whole thing.
The whole thing. Okay. Hold on. You posted pictures. Let me get those pictures.
It's
pulled
the
up
one.
there.
It's the red one.
Oh, I need to open the folder first. Okay. No.
I don't see a whole lot of people running the ZX right now, but
No.
for me, I like the feel of the car. I like the feel, I like the sound of it. I like the look of it.
You want to know why?
Probably
That's
because
because-
there's some other
They weren't
better
made
kits
that
out there,
long.
maybe.
No,
Or-
it's probably because everyone converted over to a Shark.
Most people.
This
Yeah.
is true.
But like
There's a whole lot of sharks out there.
even when before the Shark came out, I never saw a ZX that much.
I had my makeshift ZX before the ZX came out.
Well, they came out right after the Z, and then it's like they were out for a bit, and then like you couldn't get them anymore.
Okay, so here we go. We've got your chassis.
Yes,
here.
this is it. So you can see it's got the DDSS on there. Actually, though, my favorite feature of the whole car, I don't have a battery in mine right now, is Creative. I don't know if they still make them, but they used to make NOS
The NOS.
models with the
Yeah.
little gate on there. I found a NOS sticker to put on there.
I don't think Alex said that he's making them anymore.
No, I don't think he's making anything anymore.
Man, I really wish I could get about 2 more of those. That's one of my favorite things. I keep pulling that from car to car. And then I have it mounted there, so on the rear window of my car, I can see it through the window. So when the car drives by, I can always check the battery power. And then when the voltage is getting a little low and the car's not quite as strong, I know what's happening.
Yep.
I find it's easier to look at that than it is to look at the screen on the remote and see what the battery power is while you're in the middle of a big train or something.
Oh, dang.
The shark.
Oh, hold on. Oh, whatever. No. Anyway, there's supposed to be a feature where, like, if you put in the emoticons, it'll just kind of float around the
screen.
window.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't
Yeah,
have
I'm
that
not
set up.
seeing it.
It's not working.
It's not working. That's okay. Sorry, Neil.
But yeah,
Neil
so I like-
messaged us.
I like this particular chassis. There was a guy, I haven't seen him in a long time. His name was Greg. He was working on this particular car, this exact car. And at the same time, I was working on my YD2. And we used to take and pit together a lot of the time. And so while he was building this car, he would let me try it periodically. And I always just thought to myself, if I had that car, it would level me up so much just because I was able to drive it so well. And one day he sold it, so I picked it up and have been kind of modifying it since then. But it's been a really good car for me. Last weekend? Yeah, I think it was last weekend or the weekend before that. This car had metal gears inside the transmission.
Mhm.
And so those gears finally ate themselves up, and it was a horrible mess. So I've rebuilt it now with some plastic gears, and it runs smooth, it runs great. But I miss the noise that it made with the gears, like the metal gears. The noise of them was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So part of me wants to kind of put another metal gear in there just for that, and just know that it's going to have a service life.
Mhm.
But for right now, I'm running that plastic gear.
I prefer the plastic gear. Partly
Just so you
because of
don't
the
blow
noise.
it up.
Well, I mean, I've seen more cars with metal gears that shred the metal gears than plastic gears.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know what they do, but they do weird things and then it blows up.
They're
Mine
soft.
felt pretty consistent.
Yeah, but I think the Yokomo gears are aluminum versus like hardened steel in a off-road car.
Mhm.
So they just don't last as long.
No.
Chris's
You can
chans
see on
look
the
like a
gears
bomb
the
went off.
size is like smaller when you pull them out of there after they're all fried up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So getting a hold of this chassis, did it do everything that you thought it was going to do? Like, did it level you up
Yes.
to a point? Okay.
It did. Actually, once I got this car, I pretty much stopped driving the YD2 that I was originally working with. This one here, this was my YD2, that purple deck one there.
Okay.
This car here was a lot of fun. This was the one that got me into it. And at the time, like you can see, it's got a 3D printed top deck there.
Mhm.
I had switched to the Flex deck, and all the top decks, at least the ones that I was looking for, were sold out. So my local shop didn't have any. Everybody was sold out. So I went ahead and made one as a temporary measure, but I liked it, so I kept it on there. But I did a lot of experimenting with this particular car. And then this one here, I just got about a few weeks back. And so I've been working on modifying this one. So this one has a Razor deck on it now.
Yep.
Actually, Kalai gave me the Razor deck, so shout out to him on that. That was really cool. And this one is basically starting to become a second car for my red one. So it's another ZX. But this one's built just a little different. It's got a 10.5 instead of a 13.5. But crucially, it's purple. I really wanted a purple car. So that's really the main reason behind getting this one.
RC Art has the only like motor plate that I'd run on a ZX, but they do have a
RC.
purple one.
Yeah, but they're not in stock. Rolling Garage is the only one in stock.
So I am noticing this 15 gram weight on your top plate. Is there any reason for that?
Yeah, this one has it, and also the red chassis has it.
Yeah.
I find I also have a couple other weights from the red chassis kind of hidden on the front as well. I like the feel of a heavier car. I like the momentum that it can carry. It has its cons as well, as far as if you throw the car too hard in a turn, you can go wide very easily with all that weight. But I find if it's managed, the car will hold a lot of momentum. And I like the weight in the middle because I can still get 60-40 weight balance on my car, and then put that extra weight in the middle, and everything just kind of rotates around that weight. So the handling feels the same, but I have more inertia.
Yeah, for sure.
Found there's too much weight though. You can actually get too much weight in the center of the car, and then it doesn't really work as good.
What's your all-up weight for your competition car?
I don't really know. I do know that I am very close to the limit of the rules on the rear.
So 1100,
like 40 grams off. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got a lot of weight, but the exact weight I'm not exactly sure. I haven't been on the scales in a while.
That is kind of surprising though, like, because most cars you're usually going to be like 150, 150 grams away, like from that limitation. Yeah. Although we have Harvey. Harvey is literally like 1 or 2 grams away from that. He was heavier one time, and we had to take a general vote to see if we would allow it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Sure, what was the vote?
Yeah,
you guys let it go.
It was fine.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, it was fine. Although that's
the thing with the weight. The weight, I don't know. I don't think everybody likes the feel of it necessarily, but for me and my driving style, I know how to kind of move the weight around. I feel like I'm kind of shifting the weight forward and back on the cars. I'm going around the track and just managing it, and it feels pretty good.
Most of my cars are going to be loading out around 1450, maybe 1500, around there. So my cars are typically heavier than most that you see. Yeah,
I like that heavier feel.
And then as far as motor position, are you like more
pretty much up,
all the way up?
Yeah. I'm out.
Have you driven RDX then?
I have.
And what are your thoughts of that?
I'm good with that car, especially the way it is out of the box. It drives really good to me.
Gotcha.
It feels set up and planted. I feel like the front end and I have a few little issues. I don't know what it is, but in borrowing some people's RDX, overall I can drive it pretty good. But I feel like I think it's just a little bit extra weight that I like on the front, just so the front kind of carries along with the rear a little longer.
Honestly, for me, the RDX is a fine driving car. However, at the same time, it is like if you have it set up right to do what it needs to do, or at least what I think it needs to do, then it's not necessarily like an easy car to learn right from the get-go. So like there are a few things that you can do or set up or just play with the gyro. Then it just feels weird. But other than that. Okay. Trey is saying talk about your transmission. I don't know if he's referring to the metal gears.
Besides the gears getting blown up.
Yeah.
So besides the gears being blown up, the transmission is stock now. I'm running a ball diff inside, a Yokomo ball diff.
Okay. And how are you liking the ball
prefer-
diff?
I love it. I used to have gear diff, obviously the one that would come with it, and then I went to the CLSD. I tried CLSD in multiple configurations, and it was good. But I find for me, I am more consistent with the ball diff. I find I'm learning actually this week. I'm finding there's two types of drivers. You have drivers that are very heavy on the throttle. They like to match the throttle. They like to use a lot of wheel speed. And then you have other drivers like me that are more like no throttle to medium throttle and kind of doing a lot of feathering to keep with heavy traction. And I find for drivers like that, it seems like the ball diff is the way to go. Where if you drive with a lot more throttle that's heavy, the CLSD works better because it kind of locks in and you can use that with that driving style.
How open do you have for ball diff? Like pretty free or kind of middle?
Let's see.
So if you were to hold one wheel and then flick the other wheel, how many rotations do you get?
Mine won't really flick. One rotation.
Okay, so pretty tight.
It's kind of tight, yeah.
Okay.
No, one rotation is still pretty loose.
No, well, I don't know.
I see some guys, theirs will just spin very freely.
Yeah, I play with it a lot, but I still like the CLSD. Just I can spin it, I get like 10 rotations.
The ball diff is superior as far as like adjustability in terms of on-the-fly adjustability, like hands down. Because for the Yokomo ball diff, all you have to do is like take a 1.5 mil driver, like shove it up in the actual in the outdrive, and then as long as it engages, you can turn the other wheel and it'll loosen and tighten, and it's super.
I really like that feature because if you go to a different track or the temperature changes or you just want, sometimes you have to drive a little differently with different people. I like to be able to just change that on the fly.
Yep. And then it keeps your transmission clean.
It does.
There's no
it's not
oil.
flinging a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's no oil to leak out. Nothing.
Well, there's no oil if you just don't put oil in your CLSD either, or fluid, or anything.
I mean, there's that. No, I mainly complain about the Yokomo gear diff.
Yeah, the Yokomo gear diffs are pretty terrible.
I could never get that to like seal.
Yeah, same.
Anyway,
I have found, even though that they leak, I found that a gear diff with something like a 5,000 weight oil feels good to me. I wouldn't say it's very free, but it just seems to work with my setup.
Did you do any other modifications or try any other modifications with the gear diff? Like two spider gears, no O-rings?
No. Nope. I left it pretty much as it was. Actually, the one that I tried that had 5,000 weight was borrowed. But on my personal one, I believe I just put enough lubrication in just to have some oil in it, and that's it. So I was running pretty open.
Yeah, that's a hot mod too. Yeah, it's like some of them are just running them completely open, even without the O-rings. So it still engages, but has the most openness that you can. Which is also kind of like one of the methodologies or methods that we use with a ball diff. Like pretty much as open as it could be, but without it barking or without you like losing too much forward bite just because it wasn't gripping.
Yeah, which is another reason I like the ball diff, is because you can dial in your forward bite, you can dial in how much slip you have pretty easy without having to use like an hour and a half to take everything apart, and you're all with lubricant on your hands and everything. Wasn't a fan. It worked okay, but it just wasn't for me.
Right. Okay. Josh, Josh in chat, do you have a preferred rear and front camber?
Yeah. Front camber, I'm usually right around 8 or 9.
Okay.
Kind of depends on the day, but usually between 8 and 9. And the rear, I like between 2 and 3.
Okay.
For my home tracks.
And what's your tire that you're on? Is it LF3s?
Yeah, for the P-Towel at Tandem, LF3. And then at Battlegrounds, I use a 007.
007. Oh, that's the Super G tire, right? It's not the
Yeah.
Rev D tire. It's the Super G.
Oh no, that's the old. Yeah, that's the
The
Super G one. That's
G1,
right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I just threw the Discord link in chat, you guys. If you haven't joined, it's a cool little place where we're nice, I think. Hopefully nice. We do Roast My Rig, which we'll be touching base on here later. If you want to have your chassis that you're working on or just your chassis in general featured, that's a good place to put it. There's also Roast My Workbench and a few other things that are there too. And a good tuning community. If you have a question and you need an answer, usually someone has an answer for you.
Usually.
So feel free to join.
That's awesome.
If you're there, we're there. There's also like voice channels for just whatever car access setup. I had Helldivers, but I haven't played Helldivers in like a good month, so I don't know what I'm doing with
I
that.
haven't played either. I haven't played since the whole drama.
What is SO Drift Dreams?
Shout out Drifter. That's my team.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to all the guys on Drift Dreams. That's cool.
Right on. Helldivers has a new patch, and apparently it's really good. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. Depends. I've been playing with too much video camera stuff.
You've had new stuff to play with.
I do have new stuff to play with. Josh, again, preference on front and rear toe.
I don't have a preference. Honestly, I don't even know what my car is. It's just whatever I have running here. So I could tell you. On the rear, I have the E-toe block. It's got the 4-piece in there to set it up.
Is it 4 dot in and then 3 dot out on the front?
The dot is in on the back, and it's a 2 dot on a D in the front. The dot is in on the front. I don't know what that makes, but it looks like I have just a touch of toe in.
Sounds like quite a bit, actually.
It looks like, I guess it's where the dots are. It doesn't really have, actually, maybe it could show up on the screen. So it has, some,
that's not a lot. That's not too bad.
but it's not a big, crazy amount. It's really where the dot is. It's kind of like inside up here and then kind of outside over here. So it kind of straightens it up.
I think that's definitely more than standard YT2, but I've seen worse.
I've seen worse.
My PDX has a ton. Have you seen that thing? It's retarded.
I've tried in the past having like a very heavy amount of toe in, but it doesn't seem like it helps.
Yeah, I
It
tried
might get the
buggy
car kind of off
standards.
the line, but that's it.
Like, I've 3 degrees is like typical buggy standards, and that I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so I didn't know if it worked or didn't work. So,
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
Front toe. So not really talking about the toe blocks on that. So front toe, I kind of prefer a little bit of toe out, but I think that's mostly just my steering geometry. So front, you can see it's just a touch of toe out, but I really don't tune the toe necessarily on the front. I'm just looking for angle. So my car can get a pretty good amount of angle. That's all I really care about. And I usually tune it for right about here where I'm normally driving.
Now, because of the way that you're showing it on camera, there's a lot of
It looks
yelling that's
towed in,
about
I
to.
think.
Yeah, there's a lot of yelling that's about to happen.
Yeah, it looks towed in. And also, I've crashed this pretty heavily yesterday after competing, so I need to realign this whole car. But usually the way that I like the front end setup is just a little bit toe out past the parallel. So if they're looking parallel, I like it just a little bit like this.
Sure.
That's usually what I strive for.
Gotcha. What about
Makes it run in fast.
your lead tire at lock? Do you try to have that as flat as it can be, or are you a little bit castered?
I like it angled. Yeah, bit of caster.
Okay.
I like it to, once I get past about that 45-degree angle, I like the tire to tip up on its angle for both the lead and the chase tire.
Do you know how much caster you're running?
The numbers, no, but for the spacers, I have my upper arm pretty much in the middle.
Okay.
So as far as the numbers, I haven't put this on a jig or anything like that, so I don't know what the numbers are. But in the middle feels pretty good. Sometimes I will take a couple spaces out and actually pull my caster back a little bit more to slow the steering, but usually it's pretty close to the middle.
Trey's got all the answers for you.
Trey is so detailed with the numbers and his experimentation. I really appreciate his dedication.
He was fun when he was on the stream.
I saw that one. Yeah, he goes in. He's fun regardless. So,
Okay.
yeah, shout out to him. Usually for me, as far as setup, I don't really use numbers and jigs. I just go by feel. As long as both sides seem fairly symmetrical, put some calipers on them, I just go by the feel and I just kind of adjust things until it works.
Have you gotten yourself into one of those oh crap moments where you did one too many things and then trying to get back to what you were trying to get, like where you were at before?
It's pretty rare. I mean, I have obviously messed up many tunes, but I'm a big promoter of doing one thing at a time.
Gotcha.
So usually before I change anything, I will make a note in my phone of what the measurement was ahead of time, and then I'll go experiment with it. And usually I like to go with a wild number or a wild different setting just to see what it's going to do and then dial it in from there. So it's pretty rare that I'll wreck a tune now, but I try and stick to just doing one thing at a time.
Right on.
Like anything adjustment or even in the ESC, everything's one thing at a time.
That's a good mentality. That's a good training thing to do, like 100%. Josh is also asking, do you guys try to get a lot of droop on your cars?
I don't try to. It has droop. As long as the car has a little bit of down travel and then neutral and then a bit of up travel, I feel like that's the way to get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really tune for droop necessarily. It's just as long as the suspension feels like it has no binding and has a good movement, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that some people have their cars where they're able to like literally sit 20 millimeters above ground and still have all four tires touching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they post them on like Flex Friday pictures.
There's a fair amount. So this is about where the car sits. So it has about that much droop to it.
That's pretty good.
And then the rear, a little bit less, but it's still got some. Actually, look at my wheel. I'm seeing it on the camera. This wheel is all kinds of chewed up now. This car was at a lot of action.
Oh, yeah. Big chunk.
I think it's time for some new ones already. These are pretty new already. Man.
I joined the Team Jake Break a Wheel project today.
The hub, the Goodbye Hub Club. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me grab the picture from. Let me post the picture. Like, I don't know how it happens. Like, apparently asphalt just has that much more grip, and this is a Yokomo wheel, not.
Oh, not a Rev D.
Not a Rev D.
I thought that was a Rev D wheel that you smacked.
No,
done that. I've done that to the Rev Ds, but that's because I over-torque or over-tighten the wheel nuts, and I think I cracked my hubs.
Is it cracking here on the inside?
Yeah, in the
hub. Yeah,
hub.
that's happened to this wheel.
Yeah. I've done that to two, I think, Rev D wheels where I've just cracked the hub.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know what it was. That wheel on the car didn't spin true, but the wheel looked okay. And then one day I looked on the inside and I saw the hub had a big split in it.
Yep.
That was the end of it.
Yep.
Okay. Here is what happened. Boom. Like, it's a pretty standard.
It looks
break.
intact, but I'm not seeing it yet. Oh, the whole center's gone. I am seeing it. Wow.
Gone. Yeah.
That's
all gone.
Yes, it is all gone.
How did that happen?
I was so I got bored because I don't have a track local to me. So I was in my garage, and then I ventured out into the driveway. And the driveway is it's fine. It's concrete. It's grooved concrete. Like, it's not super smooth, but yeah, a lot of side bite and apparently a lot of traction or just too much torque. But that happened.
Your car's got a lot of both. Wow.
This is coming from an RMX VIP, like on a Razor chassis. which is like
Looks
cool
significant.
and absolutely stupid for me to do because I can't replace that chassis.
No, you just got that deck a little bit ago. It's basic.
The deck is fine, but I can't find another like curved slide rack for it.
Just don't hit anything hard.
At least the wheels took all the damage and not the chassis.
So that's the other thing, because like when I saw it, it just like stopped, right? So
Mhm.
when I found it, it was just like on the aluminum upright on the rear hub. I'm like, it's not bad. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah,
Are you keeping this wheel or is it already gone?
it's already in the trash. Like, I have the picture. That's all that I need. Anyway,
So when it comes to wheels, then since we're talking about wheels, like, do you guys have a preferred wheel, or are you guys believers in like the squishy wheel compound? Do you have like a favorite one?
so I do believe in high traction wheels. Like 100% believe in high traction wheels. I wouldn't say the more squishier the better, but I will typically either run the Yokomo high traction, the Rev D Rev D wheels, or the is it DS Racing, the feathery wheels? Like they're
Yeah, those are DS.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. I've
Those
never
are pretty
tried
good,
those,
true.
but I'd like to.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I have like a lot of bronze of those.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't have a preference. It depends on the chassis and the tune. Some of mine have.
You use it like as a
the-
tuning aspect.
Yeah, depends on how the car's feeling. But I've got some chassis that run chrome ones, and that felt fine. Then I've got some with Rev D, some with top line, some with HPIs, the Turbo Max.
Oh,
which
HPI
is
wheels
super
too.
squishy. Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, get this. So
very cool.
after I broke this wheel, I threw on some rubber wheels, rubber tires, and I went outside, and it was fine in the garage, like on whatever polished concrete is in the garage. And then out and about on the road and the driveway, that I couldn't get it to drift. Like,
It was just too hooked up.
it was too hooked up. So I came back inside before I like made any irreparable damage. And then I told the rest of the guys, hey, I want to do F1.
yeah.
Because that'd be a fun class. I think that'd be a blast of a class to do, as long as we had the people to do it.
It would be fun.
Are those the ones that have the chassis that is flexing for the suspension?
Not so much. I mean, how would you describe F1? It's a pan car, essentially.
Pan car, open
Is
wheel.
it pan car? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's F1. Like, it looks
Yeah.
F1.
Formula One.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I like after
Get all
doing
the
that,
speed out of it.
it'd be fun. Although, okay, weird thing happened because when I was getting it up to speed, because of the gyro and everything in it, like at high speed, I ended up having like the speed wobbles. It was kind of funny.
Mhm.
Like just seeing it.
I see in the chat we got top line and lab wheels. I want to try some lab wheels. I have some lab wheels. I never had a wrench with the low profile to get the nut onto the axle.
Oh, yeah.
I do now, but I still haven't tried those wheels yet. They're just sitting in my
I'll
bin.
find lab.
Isn't that funny that that's a thing? Like you have to have a shallow walled wrench to be able to do that.
Yeah,
Well, it's like scale dynamics. You got to have not the big wheel nut, but the little one,
hmm
because they won't fit in the center
just
hole.
to get it in there. Yeah,
MST
'cause
did the
it's-
same thing.
Because it's totally, you can't see it.
yeah. Looks more scale like that.
Yeah, but it's to get them out. You have to. So I use like MST
The
wheel nuts.
5.5. Yeah.
Yeah, the super small ones, because the only ones that'll fit inside that hub.
The most
That's cool.
scale nuts, like wheel nuts that I've used, were like the active hobby ones, the ones that have like the little lug nuts on it, and you have to have that specialized wrench to get it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I
look.
like the ones that don't have the nylon in it. I find if you have the lock nuts with the nylon, it gets old over time. I like the ones that don't have that.
I like
Just like a liquid flange
just
nut.
serrated ones.
Yeah, as long as they're serrated.
Non-nylocks. Yep.
Look, everybody say hi to Logan. Sorry I couldn't make it tonight.
Hey,
Still
Logan's
moving, but
in.
got on the show in the background. Yeah.
Moving is no joke.
Moving sucks.
Post the pictures of your fancy French doors, Logan.
Fancy French doors?
Yeah, he has French doors for his office. Okay, wait. French doors is just
That's
like
nice.
2 opening doors, right?
Yeah, French doors are sure open.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotta fact check some stuff. Okay, where are we at?
So I see we got ride height front versus rear. I prefer the ride height to be lower in the rear at all times. Just a little bit, not like a Carolina squat, but just a little bit lower in the rear.
I
Gives it a
hate
good
how
feel.
that's a thing. Apparently, Carolina squat is illegal now, but
In
Yeah.
some states, but yeah,
But for RC drift, if it's just got that little bit, it's good.
just a little bit, yeah. Well, because you're expecting the front to kind of be a bit dynamic, anyways.
Hmm.
and it keeps
Yeah, as long as it's
your
free
weight
up, you're good.
shifted. Keeps it
Yep.
shifted to the back.
No, it
Mhm.
works out better.
Better traction.
Although, okay, let's do this. In Discord, there's a question. What would too much toe in feel like? And I'm assuming that it's going to be on the rear. So
Yeah,
just
the
like what
front
we were
would feel
talking
horrible.
about. Yeah.
It depends, because it depends on the chassis and depends on the drivetrain. On like a PBS where it's got an insane amount of toe in with a spool, it feels fine. It feels grippy and comes out of corners very easy.
But hold
Is that a
on.
lock spool on there?
What
Yeah.
what body are you running?
It depends on the body though, because with the van body on it, it felt great. With a car body, it feels slow and unpredictable. But the body is way different.
When we
Up
say
high weight, all that
when-
stuff.
when we say van body, it's
The Killer Angel, the Furious Angel, the
Yeah.
Killer Body one. Yeah, the high ace.
Oh, that's a serious band.
yeah.
it's not just
Yeah.
like a double.
It's not a little van. No, it's not. No, it's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's a
weight,
serious
very
van.
high.
Lots of weight, lots of size.
Yes.
And
And
he has
with
like all
that-
the LEDs and all the other stuff on it.
Yeah, but with that, the chassis felt great. It rolled really good, and it would lean on that outside tire, and it would bite and pull it around the corners really good. But without the weight shift, a lot of toe in doesn't work great.
Mhm.
I would agree.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It really depends on the chassis.
I feel like when I was experimenting with the toe in, when it had a lot of toe in, the car was pretty good off the line. Like it would kind of go straight up the line. But I found the car was kind of more reluctant when I was in the drift to really do a lot of shifting and just be as agile as I wanted it to be. And then I felt like as the weight kind of shifted from the rear, it just felt unpredictable and kind of skatey. I wasn't into it.
Yeah, it does, because your tires are kind of pushing into each other more. So
Mhm.
yeah, it makes traction kind of funky.
Yeah.
So Sean, with the most polarizing question here, always, what are good ways to get more exit speed leaving a corner? I've been struggling, would love some ideas. This has been my thing all the time as well.
I feel like there's multiple ways to do it, but I feel like, at least for me, the best way to do it is, I'm assuming we're talking about in chase as well. So you're a chase car. I feel like when you're going towards the end of the turn, the chase car, a lot of times when they're struggling, will stay in drift while the lead car is kind of taking off and getting ready to transition for the next turn. Where the chase car is prolonging the drift, so they're slowing themselves down, and then they have to kind of straighten up and shoot back up to the lead car to get in there. So I feel like as a chase car, getting out of the drift or trying to transition a little earlier than that lead car for the next turn is the way to keep your speed up.
Anticipation.
And also just give a blip in there
Yeah.
of throttle.
100%. Like, if you can anticipate, I feel if you can anticipate your lead driver, just being able to watch them and be able to like judge your own exit differently from when they are. Like, if you can catch them either off guard or like either at the moment or when they're doing it, then you'll have a better chance. Oh, don't hit your brakes.
Yeah, don't hit your brakes.
Yeah, no. Throttle instead of the
brakes.
brakes.
Any sort of like brake check or anything, you're gonna lose speed no matter what. I also need to work on that. But let's see. Trey helps to be aware of your wheel speed, but it comes down to throttle control. Yes.
Throttle control is a huge amount.
So many times we do say like train your finger.
Yeah.
And
don't turbo to get turbo. I don't know. For me, turbo slows me down, so I actually less throttle and I grip up. So toward the end of a corner, I start letting off, and then right as I start to transition, I throttle back up.
I've never seen turbo as a speed like thing.
No,
right?
Some
I feel like
people
it's
try.
not really going to get you there.
I've seen people where they're on, like, look at Jose. He's on turbo all the time, and he kills things, but he's also slowing himself down at the same time. Because turbo is a good way to slow yourself down.
He broke another rotor.
Yeah, he did.
Did we talk about that?
Oh, wow. He's really on turbo.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it in like our normal chat. Did we talk about it on stream yet?
No, because we were at the car show last weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Where he broke it. It's just been in PDX chat all week.
So he's almost blown up a Accuvance Fledge motor, but to his benefit, the Fledge motor was already on its like last legs. And then he bought a top line motor and shaft sheared. Oh, didn't he also blow up? No, the Oniseki motor still exists.
I think so.
Oh my gosh, that guy. He honestly, I think if he just bought a brand new motor,
he would
be fine.
No, he'd kill it.
I don't think so. It'd be fine.
Well, I told him to go buy an Agile.
At least he's pushing the limit of his car. That's cool.
He is definitely pushing the limits.
Wrong limit, but
it's a limit though, so he's on it. But yeah.
Josh, with all the questions, maybe we just need to have you on.
Josh's questions.
We probably should just have them all.
Yeah, we'll just have him on one day, and then we can just all like answer the question.
Question.
Okay, what do you prefer for boost and turbo settings? That's very.
Mine is pretty fluid because I go to multiple tracks with different surfaces. So I'll give you the tuning philosophy that I have behind it. I feel like going back to what we were talking about with traction, with the boost, I consider the boost, at least for my setup, the no throttle to mid throttle, and I feel like the turbo is obviously just at the very highest end. So I try and tune my boost to the point where the car can take off from the line without immediately spinning up the wheels.
Sure. And
I like the boost to kind of ramp up a bit later because I find on my car that helps keep the traction longer. And then the turbo, I like it to be just enough that my car will transition quick, or I can use it to kind of prolong a drift a little bit, but no more than that. I don't like a lot of extra, but I'm also kind of a soft throttle driver. Compared to some of the other drivers that I drive with that like to drive a lot of throttle, I'm sure they have a different philosophy behind it. But that's what works for me. Yeah. So usually I'd say nothing over about 26 degrees for either the boost or the turbo, and then kind of play with the on RPM for both of those. And then with the turbo, I usually prefer the on to be just instant with the throttle fully pegged.
Do you know the numbers, like how much boost and how much turbo and how much is on your can?
Not off the top of my head. I've been tuning so many people's other cars, I've forgotten my own personal numbers. The can, I believe it's the same. My can is at 19.
Oh, so you turned it down.
Just a pinch, just one click from 20. And then I don't remember my other numbers off the top of my head, but I believe I'm right around 26 degrees for both the turbo and the boost.
Okay. Like each of them are 26?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then depending on the day and the traction, I'll go up or down a few points on those numbers.
And then do you also have your boost? I think you said that you have your boost engaging later on in the RPMs, right? So you can get a better
Yeah, it
soft start.
engages right around, I believe I have it at 14,000 for when the boost actually kicks in. So it's a little later, and it goes up to 70 or 80,000, I believe, and then that's kind of where the turbo takes over from there.
Gotcha. What is Logan saying? Having gone back to the NA setup for a show, I really need boost and turbo to chase well. Okay, so that's the thing, right? More specifically turbo than anything else, because you can technically do boost mechanically as well. But turbo, more specific to turbo, I always see it as a tool than anything else. It's not really meant to be like, this is for speed, this is for, although I guess at like in a corner, like if you're trying to inch up to someone, a little shot of the turbo can help there.
Yeah, for sure. Just to kind of bump it in, or to use it as kind of like a throttle brake, where you can kind of use it and kind of jump your car back if you've gotten too shallow in the zone.
Yeah, it's funny with,
I tend to use it a lot.
With what we can do in our little toy cars, because real cars can't modulate between like the engine torque and not.
Yeah. These things are so powerful. That's actually one of my favorite things to do, is like when you get into a turn, and if you're just a bit shallow on the zone, or if you're in the zone and you need to adjust, you can take and either pop the car backwards towards the wall, or get it to kind of get back closer to the apex. I really like doing that.
And it's one of those things where like it's not, you wouldn't think about it until you see someone else do it. And that's like, oh, you can do that.
Yeah. As long as you have enough power, you can do it.
So here,
I find with my car, it will not drift without turbo though. Like as soon as the battery light goes out, my car doesn't drift anymore. It has too much traction to really break it free properly.
Yeah.
That's how I felt outside today.
Yeah.
Except with all the beans, it wouldn't do it. So yeah, this is Logan's new office.
This is Logan's place.
Yep. With his
look at that rig in there.
Rig.
But is he still 15 minutes from PDX now?
It's the same place.
Oh gosh. Oh, he's got it so easy then. He doesn't even need to rent anything.
Hey, if it's upstairs to downstairs, that in itself is a pain in the butt.
Yeah, but it's not like he has to load everything in U-Haul drive.
Oh, he's 3 doors down. So do we need to make the song Kryptonite like your theme song? Too much? Was that too much of a poll?
A little bit. I don't think a lot of people would get that one. It's a bit of an older song, Adam.
It's a good song.
Yeah, depends on your market here.
Yeah, okay, fine. I mean, YouTube says that my age bracket, the people that are tuning in are between the ages of 25 and 40. So, yeah. I think it's the right age bracket.
I think those people will know.
Yeah.
All right. What else are we going to talk about? Let's talk about... Ooh. So, actually, no. Let's go back here. So, as far as chassis tuning, because this is where you wanted to hit, and I know that we're currently talking about chassis tuning, but you specifically brought up roll center, and roll center is a great thing to understand if you can. Not necessarily like the whole draw the imaginary lines and see where they like where they intersect on your rear end, but like just the idea behind it. Let's go.
I've seen those race charts where they show the lines and where they intersect, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I guess I kind of understand it, but I don't know what that means for RC drifting specifically. Most articles I've read about road race.
Yeah, right. I got it for like 10 minutes, and then I stopped thinking about it, and I'm like, nope, it's gone. It's out the window. Being able to experience the roll center is easier instead of understanding like where it's at. If that makes sense.
I don't really understand it. I feel like especially on the rear, if you move your upper arms up, your car slides a bit more, and you move them down, it slides a bit less. But that's as far as I've gotten with roll center.
Yeah, I mean that's. Well, I guess there's more to it than just that, right? For what roll center.
Yeah, for sure.
Is. So I guess the definition of roll center is just the point at which your car is rotating about, right?
Yeah, like as it's shifting this way, that way on its axis.
Yeah.
Say Noble 240 roll center is leverage to make the car put more weight onto the outer tire.
Yeah, it'd be the sideways. Side to side, not front to back.
So if I was looking for more straight line speed, I would assume that you'd want a lower roll center. And if you're looking for more side bite, you want a higher roll center.
I would say yes to that. I'm trying to look up the glossary of the So Dialed app, which So Dialed is an application on the phone that you can download. You can find like tuning sheets and all that other fun stuff. Noble 240, lower roll center for more side bite.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
But
does that work on the front as well?
Yes, because you're changing that like how much and where it's rolling at, right?
Like how much leverage it can place onto the tire.
Exactly. That's not what I wanted.
I think that's going to be something I experiment with less, because I really haven't played with a lot of roll center stuff. So I'd like to really see if there's a better position than I currently have.
So let's see. Maybe I don't even need the So Dialed app. You guys are doing great in chat. Center of gravity to roll. Center is the distance that matters. The longer the 2 points is, the leverage gets.
So that'd be like high CG to increase the leverage of the roll center.
That actually answers my question, because I noticed some of the holes, especially if this is the middle of the chassis and this is where the wheel is, there's holes that kind of go in and out like this. And so I have mine closer to the center of the car, and I always wondered what happens when you shorten your arm. But I see with it being leveraged, it's just kind of making a weaker effect.
Yeah, so that do you know who Takahiro is?
Takahiro, I've heard of him, yes.
He's like the...
Do I know him? No.
He's basically the guy for RevD.
For RevD? Yeah.
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 Let me find it here. Because there's basically... He basically posted a picture that explains the whole idea of like the upright on those arms. Although I could probably just read the chat. Which let's
a lot
just
of
do
knowledge
that.
in the chat today.
Sorry, what?
There's a lot of knowledge in the chat today.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's tons of knowledge in the chat all the time. Different hubs,
Great.
but different hubs will have different characteristics. Yeah, it's more prevalent in on-road and off-road racing. And no, I think we care about it just as much because of the way that our cars roll and how we actually depend on roll for traction.
Mm-hmm.
True, but we're not like getting as much roll per traction as like a buggy is, because they're going to get a lot more roll just from the bite than we would.
Yeah.
RC Drift AZ
Upper
or
suspension.
Arizona. The only roll I'm worried about are Texas Roadhouse. I mean, they do have pretty darn good rolls.
They have some solid rolls there. I'm not a bread person, but their rolls are really solid.
The closest Texas Roadhouse to me is down in Eugene.
We have one down here?
Yeah,
I've never been to it.
it's over by
funny.
Springfield.
Oh, that's why. I don't go
It's in
there.
in the Gateway parking lot, I think. Somewhere. Anyway,
I believe
yeah.
there's a 90% chance that my dad might be eating some of that tomorrow.
nice. Shorten links also
Father's
add
Day.
camber gain. Yes, they do. Wheel width, wheel offset, and rear arm alignment must be taken into consideration. Yeah, It's one of those things. It's kind of like the front end. If you change one thing as far as like caster or toe or whatever, you change everything else too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Too bad I don't have any pictures, although the pictures can also like add grief to the explanation. I mean,
But like when you see all those lines and it looks,
Yeah.
it looks crazy.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially for how they explain it, because it's like
Mhm.
you have to draw the imaginary lines and you have to find where they intersect, and like if you shorten or lengthen them, words can be very hard to understand.
Yeah. And then trying to put that into what does that feel like on the track as well.
I'm trying to find it. I'm being very unsuccessful. Oh, here we go. So let me post this in chat. Here's the link for the Taco Hero blog about the upright. Make sure that you enable your English translations, because without it, it will not make very much sense. But yeah, he does a really good job of being able to
I
explain
see.
like the inside versus the out versus the low versus the high. But it doesn't actually like talk about how it affects the roll center, albeit that's what it is doing here.
I think this article is actually a little better for me because I just want to know what it feels like.
He has pictures.
But I guess the next best step is just to do it and see.
Yeah, 100%. Like, honestly, well, I don't compete, or I don't have a specific... I do have a specific competition car, but, like, I'm not against changing it all the time. So,
Yeah, can always get it back. Well, within reason. Sometimes I find you can get it close to what it was, but not exactly the same.
Yep. And then sometimes days are golden and other days are complete crap. And,
yeah, with the same car and same setup.
Yep. And then you just drive it. Like, usually, for me, if my car isn't, like, if it's driving good enough, then I'll just let it sit. If I see that I'm having, like, a very hard time trying to keep up, trying to stay in tandem, that's when I start doing things.
I find for me, it also depends on my adrenaline level and my caffeine level.
Oh, 100%.
If I don't have any adrenaline or I don't have any energy, then it all kind of goes worse.
Justin actually brought that up. How like when he prepares for a competition day, he doesn't have anything. Like,
Yeah.
He tries to drive totally.
That's smart. Keep the jitters away.
Right. Keep in mind, Japanese driving characteristics and driving preference is totally different than ours. Yes, 100%. 100%. Did you see Vittorio's?
I've driven with Japanese drivers, but from what I've noticed and what I've seen from other people, it's definitely different. I feel like, especially around where we're at, we like to use a lot of angle. We like to get it pretty much to the full lock and hold it there as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe it seems like here we also like to drift longer rather than kind of just hit the zone and then go to the next one. We like to enjoy that moment a little longer.
Not just that, but the overall tracks too. Like watching a few previous competitions from others, it seems like more of the tracks that I see are doing like entire layouts, like the entire track versus just like pick a point A, pick a point B, and that's your entirety of the length.
Yeah.
We actually did it at PDX. Was it at PDX? No, we did it at Northwest, where we had one track layout, but we used it 3 or 4 different times.
Yeah, I think 4.
Just using different variations of the track. And that worked out really well.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
That's always really fun.
But we had enough space we could get away with that.
I mean, we still have that same space.
I feel like PDX is a bit smaller.
It is not by that much, though.
No.
Let's see.
Feels
JP.
small.
Like our
who's leading
culture,
on
we
the
usually seem to use the whole track for the competition. The track
Mhm.
will change, or the direction will change, or we might modify a turn or something, but we usually will use majority of the track.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
For your starts, do you guys tend to start on a corner or do you start on like a pretty long straight?
Straight.
Okay.
Yeah, usually a long straight leading into a hairpin or leading into a big sweeper or something. But
Okay.
usually it's a straightaway, and then there's a little jog for the lead car that's to go around it,
Mhm.
and it's almost always on the straight.
Do you guys have a problem with like lead gap in some situations? I know the
Not
chicane
that I
is there
noticed.
to yeah.
Not that I noticed because that chicane is there. But I think we're all trying to gap whoever is in chase from the line. But no, I haven't really noticed that it's a big problem.
Okay. Now would you say that out of like sportsmanship, like because of sportsmanship, or just because people aren't able to get away?
I think people are just not able to get away. And usually the straightaways that we have, or at least where the start position is position straightaway, it's not really a huge run up before the turn. It's just enough to get out of that start gate and then get set up for that turn and go ahead and go in. So I don't think there's a huge area for a chase person to be gapped very heavily.
Okay.
I think most people would end up getting gapped if they don't get into the drift soon enough, or if they just get out of the gate slower for some reason, then they're gonna have to make up time for the first zone and maybe even do the second zone.
Okay. Now, let's actually talk about some other stuff here, meaning your cases and like the whole rock component part of things. Before we get to the point where we're just trying to like tag it on at the very end. Okay, so while I'm switching over, tell us a little bit about your cases.
The cases started as it was just an idea for myself. I like to do a lot of creative things all the time. I'm always making things or coming up with things. And so when I started doing the RC drifting, I noticed everybody had a Yokomo hauler or something very similar, like it's just a suitcase with the folded drawers on the inside. Everything was covered. And so I needed to have a case myself because coming to the track, I was bringing a tool bag with all my parts in it, and I was just holding the car and my remote in my other hand. And it was very cumbersome, and it took up a ton of space on the table. So I started to basically sketch on paper whatever my dream case would look like. And this design was pretty much what I'd sketched out on the paper, and then I've just kind of refined it over time so that it would work and be robust day in and day out. And for me, I wanted it like I have the K-Truck back here. I just wanted to be able to display my car at all times. I didn't want to have it inside a case and put away with all the work that goes into it. I think they just look too cool to do that. And so I haven't really seen something like this on the market.
Mhm.
And it's a bit inspired by my time in the toy industry doing toy packaging. We always wish that we could have lights in the package and just something a bit over the top. And so that's where this idea came from.
I think
So
the
once
very
I
first
built
one.
it,
Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
no, go ahead. Yeah, it'll probably transition into this. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, the first one that I saw was probably Alfredo's, because I know that he posted a picture of it, and then I saw it down at Super G. Like, man, that is cool.
Travel case.
Hmm.
So I have two sizes. There's the one that's in the background, it's a bigger size, and then Alfredo's one is actually smaller. His is designed so that you could take it on an airplane as a carry-on.
Okay.
Nice.
So it meets the small requirements of that size.
That's cool.
That was born out of actually Austin and Trey locally. Those guys were gearing up to travel and also go overseas, and they needed a solution to take their car. And we had this, and so we started talking about it, and we just figured if we could just shrink it down a little bit, it would be sturdy enough to take it on the airplane and do all the rigors of traveling and everything without needing to put your car in another suitcase and risk it going under the plane or, getting stolen or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Now-
it kind of came out of that.
This picture that we're looking at right now,
This is
So
a
there's
good
a-
one.
there's a single the larger double and then the safer air travel one, right?
Yeah. Right. So you can see all the size difference in that picture there. The single one, actually, it's funny. Is that true? That's the only single one that's out there right now, that particular green one. All the rest of them are dual level or more. And then I didn't send any pictures of it, but I also have some that are for big tractor trailers and dragsters and off-road trucks and things like that. But they're mostly just for display in your house. They're kind of big and cumbersome to take to the track and use up that much space. But some people have gotten those as well.
Have you had anyone request one for 6?
Six tiers?
6 tiers.
No, 5 is the most. So Scale Science, Jordan over at Scale Science, they have a Carvana that is 5 layers tall. That's the tallest one.
Yes. Well, considering it's all modular, you could just keep adding and adding and adding, right?
Yeah, you can. The only tricky part is on the other side, these turn into a tuning table. So there's a magnetic panel that's on them. Sizing out those magnetic panels as you go gets a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a even number of slots, then you have to have different size panels.
Okay. Do you print the 3D parts or yourself, or what material do you use?
I use PLA.
Okay.
Specifically, most times, unless it's a black case, I'll use silk PLA. I use the same brand all the time. They're pretty strong.
That's good.
Although recently I got a buddy named Mark. He turned me on to a PETG. So I bought some of that, but I haven't run it yet. But I'm planning to try that because out here it's so hot.
That's
I haven't had any melt.
But they all get
I
soft.
want to just to make it. Yeah, I don't want to have any risk of them breaking or anything like that.
The PETG is fine for that side. It's a little harder to work with though, because you have to run the bed and the hot end temp quite a bit more. It might take some trial and error. Start with small.
What about stringing? Do you find you get a lot of stringing from that?
No, I didn't have. I've worked with it a few times. I never really had any stringing issue. It was always layer bonding issues. So I tend to run it a bit hotter than the recommended temp just to make sure I get good layer bond. But it works good. And so my printer here, the orange is all PETG, and it's held up really, really good. And then I have some other PLA parts mixed in there. The PETG holds up really good over a long time.
I definitely want to try that. Especially now, I've been running the Bamboo Lab printers. Those things have been excellent.
Oh, you'll be fine then. Yeah, you'll be fine.
So I'm going to try it in that. Because my experience with the PETG before that, I had a Maker Gear M2, which I still have. I found it would do the material okay, but I'd have to use a big raft in order for the parts to stick, especially smaller parts. Yeah.
Depending on the bed, glass works really good, but also some of the newer PEI sheets work really good too now. But it's a nice. I kind of like the finish more. It's a bit shinier than PLA is, so you end up with like a bit of a nicer finish to the PETG parts.
Okay. Yeah, definitely give that a go. Because that's why I like the silk filaments. They have that kind of like metallic sheen.
Nice shine to them. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But with the PETG, you're talking about getting that extra shine, almost like a glossy kind of shine, would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, and if you can get them in kind of transparent colors, then you get a really nice, shiny, kind of translucent part, which would look really good with like the lights in these and everything. They'd look really, really good.
This is not the PETG, but I did print this with a transparent one. So I'm assuming it would look similar to that with all the little like supports and stuff in there.
Yeah.
So we do have some people asking about pricing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about pricing.
The pricing varies. So they start at $260 and they kind of go from there depending on whatever we put into it. I'd say about half of them have been custom built. So sometimes instead of having a corrugated layer, some people want a clear layer, or some people want lasering, or they want multiple colors for their printed parts and things like that. So I kind of just adjust it based on whatever we're putting into it. But they start right around $260, and then depending on everything we put in there, it goes up or down. Surprisingly, the travel case, the smaller one, is a little bit more, but it also has more stuff in it as far as how the chassis and everything gets held. So there's just more fasteners and things on that one.
Yeah, I love the little
little one is
wheel.
cool. I love it. Yeah.
Like, yeah, the little Velcro wheel attachments are cool.
Yep, those are good.
Those have been useful for people just with their regular pit bags, just to strap the car in there.
Oh, for sure.
Do you sell those on their own? Okay, 'cause that's
Yeah,
what I do. So I have the RWB body, and since I have a rolling bag, it slides and knocks around, and that's a $250, $300 body getting slammed around there. So that's a really good idea.
It really helps a lot, especially just put those straps on it. It holds it. You could tip it or whatever you want to do. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's some pictures from the actual website, which I posted in the chat. So, have you had any problems with durability as far as like the plexi or like the corrugation?
Not yet. I don't know how many of these I've made at this point. Once I hit 10, which was like over a year ago, I stopped counting. So I don't know how many of these are out there. But so far, no. They're pretty durable. I would not recommend this, but I'm a small guy. I'm able to actually sit on my case with the panel on the top of it, and nothing happens. So that was my durability test.
That's a good test.
And I also have jumped them off of curbs with the wheels, which I would also not recommend. That's actually the only thing that has broken, though. The newer cases have wheels, and the connectors that I was making for the wheels, I was printing them with a bit of air on the inside of them, and I was not really able to break them, but some people have been able to break the wheel connectors. So now I print them almost solid at this point. So if it breaks, it's really just the material just stresses itself out. But no, not a lot of failures. I haven't had anything really warping or anything like that. But some of those wheel connectors have broken. And so if that happens, I just send people a new, stronger part and just develop that into all the rest of the cases going forward.
Nice.
That's a Prius.
Yeah, that's my Prius. If you zoom, I don't know if you can zoom in on that one. This was taken at Christmas. It's got a Rudolph nose and some antler ears on it too.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's great. It's got the window antlers. That's pretty good. I like that. That's a good thing about doing this out of 3D parts, though, is you can, if someone manages to break something, I revise the part, and hey, look, now I have a new part, and I get to use it going forward. You don't have to wait for.
Eventually, on this one here, I'm going to have a newer version, but this version has been running really well, so it's not coming up anytime soon. But that's what I'm working on right now, is perfecting the next version, and then I can release it out there and let it go. But I have a question now. I'm talking to you guys here. So I'm debating, because right now the way that these are built, I build them all here in the studio and then I send them out. But I've been getting a lot of interest in people that have 3D printers that want to just have files and things like that to make it. And I know as a 3D printer, I like getting files and stuff like that. But I always wanted to gauge, is there a big interest in having like a full case that would be all printed out and you just get some other pieces from, Amazon or your local plastic supplier for windows and things? Or would people prefer just to continue getting them built like this?
Ooh,
and I have you guys here, so I can ask you too.
That's a tough one.
I think that's a dependent question for you to answer, like, for yourself, because, like, if you allow things to be printed completely, then you're losing durability, or potentially losing durability, right? So. Sorry.
Kind of. It's not just durability, though. It's also, it's not as bad as it used to be anymore, where everyone's running like random printers from all over the globe, like Realities, Enders, all that stuff. It's kind of getting better, so you're not as big of an issue as, like, your part quality isn't the same per printer, but also just dimensional accuracy is better. But then it's just, you know how to work with it, and I don't know. It's a tough one.
Sorry, is the question allowing others to print the parts themselves?
The full thing, yeah.
Yeah. Because I think so. I want to, in my mind, I want to do two versions. So I want to continue a version like this one that's kind of built. It's got more multimedia parts. It's got the aluminum and everything. But I also want to make one for the makers that's you can just get all the files, download it, and print it. My only concern with it is quality control. Because right now,
And
if
that's the
something
biggest
happens, I want to be able to
difference.
send things out. I use it as R&D so I can make everybody's cases better. And guys that have had an older case, I've sent them parts to update their cases. But if everybody is printing them, that would be awesome. But then when things break, it's harder to
You
supply
open
that
yourself
kind of
up
service.
to a whole different audience for sure.
Yeah.
It's basically like splitting into two different kind of business ideas. One is you print and you build and you send them. The other one's now I've got to support files that other people are using and having issues with.
Yeah.
You kind of split yourself up a bit with that. The better kind of half road would be get a materials list of like the aluminum and the other stuff and just offer like the angle bits. Because then you're limiting the support you have to do, because then you're relying on everyone else to go out and get extruded aluminum in this dimension, and it's all going to be the same dimension.
Yeah.
It gets down to how long you want to cut it. That's actually how my printer was done. I got all the files for the angle joiners, and then I spec'd the rest of the aluminum myself based on my dimensions. But it's 40-40 aluminum. It is what it is. So the brackets all fit 40-40. It's not like I'm trying to mix 20-20 and 40-40. So if you just supply the adapter bits and not the extruded bits, it's easier. I have tried doing 3D printed like aluminum extrusion profiles. It can work. It's also a real big pain in the butt to print.
Yeah, especially if you're going to get them longer too.
Yeah, it's hard to do longer bits that are thin like that. It'd be better.
That's what I'm trying to get around. Because I feel like if somebody's printing it, I'm kind of imagining like a teenage guy, like he's got a printer in his place. He wants to have something like that. I'm imagining it. He would just get windows and things like that, and then go ahead and just print this whole thing out.
Yeah, it'd be easier to supply parts or offer part for sale being just the connector bits, the angles, rather than the extrusion parts. Those you can get, because then you also can get people getting them from wherever they want in whatever color they want.
Yeah,
finishing, all that type of stuff. So you kind of give people some more options as well.
I'd love to see some people laser engraving those metal parts. So far, I'm just gonna put that out there. That would be really cool to see.
Yeah, that'd be good. But like, so mine I got from Misumi. So they offer aluminum extrusions, all sorts of different profiles, lengths, and everything, and you can choose your anodizing to them. So you can do clear, you can do black, you can do. I don't know if they do other colors now as well, but you could pick your extrusion anodizing colors, which was nice.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, it was really easy to do, and you just tell them what you want and how long you want it. They cut it and they send it to you pre-cut.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good, really easy. I really liked it. So there's lots of places to get metal, which is nice, and then the rest of it you can get wherever, the corrugated, the acrylic, whatever. But having the angle adapters for sale would be a pretty good way to do it.
Okay, I got something in the works for that. I'll continue on with that. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Logan's throwing in his 2 cents too. Which apparently is, there we go. I would do two DIY kits. You could sell just the design files, cut list for plexi and aluminum. Then I would do a kit that has the files in pre-cut plexi and aluminum.
So like instead of shipping a built one, you ship it all the parts and then they build it.
Flat pack, IKEA style, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That would cut down probably
IKEA
on shipping costs, but then that would also kind of give you another way to sell the kits rather than being fully assembled. Yeah, it's like a builder's kit.
Because right now the way they ship out, it's all flat packed. It's in a box. Everything's flat packed, and then you just assemble it and go.
So you already kind of do that.
Yeah, I have sent them out fully assembled as well. It's a bit more cumbersome. A couple of them have actually got lost in the mail. I don't know if they actually got lost or not, but definitely claimed some porch pirates got a hold of some custom builds which was
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it does suck.
But we took care of those guys.
Yeah,
Sean,
so since you already kind of do it flat pack, just do like Colts. Look at Colts. That works pretty good for buying 3D files.
Sean saying,
All right.
these would look really good on wall shelves too, or as wall shelves too. The way to mount it to a wall when you get home would be cool, or just to have as a display shelf would be beautiful in an office. Totally agree.
I agree on that. That would be
yeah.
really good. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if you could have some like those like circular hook type of things.
There is
or just,
actually
like,
a provision on all of them already, like in the corner of the connectors.
There's
Some of them
a
have spaces, and
recess.
some have areas for magnets that could definitely do that.
Oh yeah. So if it's just a through hole recess, then you can just do 2 pegs on a wall. And
Yeah.
just, yeah, that'd work
Because
good.
the center connectors are through hole. You just put it on that connector right on the wall.
Yeah,
And then there will be.
that'd be really good.
That's cool. There's a customer that I have. He has 6 of these. I'm not sure how many, all different custom sizes.
Jeez.
And it's still going, but we're working on, he has a hobby room. We're working on getting all of his cars into one of these. He's just going to have a wall of lit up cases. It's taking a while to get done.
Well, yeah, it would. It's a lot of
they're all
parts to
custom
print.
sizes too. It's a lot to
Yeah.
print, and then, like I say, they're all custom sizes. So
So-
making sure to get everything cut in the right size with no errors is a big deal.
What's your labor time per case, print and assembly, do you think?
If you consolidate it all down, maybe
Like,
minus the print time.
say
Print
say
time
a
is about good
standard
week.
say a standard one, like a standard 2-layer. How much print time is that?
A safe measurement would be about 3 weeks
Jeez.
Wow.
per case. That's
Oh, wow.
that's the downfall
Are
of
you
these cases. for
single
right
printer?
now.
One printer?
No, I have 2 printers.
You have two printers. Okay.
So usually, I'm always working on more than one at a time.
Okay, so
So
you're working
usually it
like
takes
so
about-
say like 2 cases at a time's worth.
Yeah.
or-
so I usually
okay.
have. So right now the printers are not on, but I have 2 printers that run cases pretty much full time or prototype parts for other stuff, and then I have another open printer that mostly does the drawers and things like that.
Jeez. Okay.
So I have 3 printers running most of the time.
Which, speaking
Yeah.
of drawers, let me get to them.
Yeah, that's
There
a
we go.
lot of print time.
So
Yeah, the printers are almost constantly running.
Oh man.
there are
That's
also
about how long it takes me to print a plane. So
You do those
Those-
foam planes?
no, that blue one is fully 3D printed.
No way. You don't use the foam filament. You know the one I'm talking about. It kind
Oh,
of
the
expands.
lightweight? No, not the lightweight. That's
Yeah.
straight up PLA.
Oh, okay.
But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's a lot of print time.
Yeah, most of the pieces that I print them pretty dense. I don't want them to break, so I print them pretty dense, and I print them kind of slow just to make sure that everything works out well.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
print it as if I was going to make it for myself, and just so it'll last as long as possible.
That's a good way to do it.
oh, do you
So I'd
print?
much rather spend a little extra time than have to replace parts later.
Is there any sort of release or relief system that's built into the ankle brackets for the plexi? Like, so there's
Oh,
not
the-
as
the
much
slide
stress.
in.
Yeah.
The angle brackets.
So- Yeah. So how?
Oh,
the,
you mean so there's no stress on the actual plexi? It's not
Exactly.
actually. So the whole frame itself just has a little slide-in area that the plexi just slides in. It's not stressed at all.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
On the drawers, though, the drawers are the structure. The plexi is the structure of the drawers.
Okay.
This is what we're showing right now. These
Yeah.
drawers fit into a Yokomo pit bag. And do you have the other sizes for like a full size Protect bag, or is the Yokomo bag like the one?
I have a Yokomo bag and I have the Rev D bag right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Adam, I think we're the only weirdos that use the Protect ones, being me and Jay.
Yeah. So far, I've not had an order for the Protect one yet,
Yeah.
but I know that one's significantly bigger.
Yes.
It's huge. It's massive.
Most people I find are getting the clear drawers either because they just want to light up their whole pit area, or because they get tired of the cars kind of getting shaved down and sanded on the roof. So they put these drawers in there so that it's nice and rigid and the roof doesn't get sanded down.
Hey,
And
I
this
have that
idea, actually,
problem.
the picture you're showing
I
here
also have that
is my
problem.
this is my teammate Eddie. He's the one that actually was the first one to get these. He was the one that came up with this for me.
Well, that's good. It looks good.
So shout out to him.
It's
That was
sharp.
cool.
It's nice.
So Sean, which you need to think about this because this is a great
Yeah,
idea.
this is legit a good idea.
You need to start designing these for sneakers. I think you could do some serious damage in the high-end collector's market with these. 100%.
Yeah, sneakers don't really
Totally.
have. They have cases, but there's some room for it to grow for sure.
Yeah.
Especially people that are really into their collection.
The guys that are like those stupid like Nike auctions. Oh my gosh. Just like the amount of money that they throw down.
It's
this-
it's definitely a hobby. It's significant. I got into sneakers just for a little bit, and then I realized I don't need that many shoes. I like to wear them too. I don't want to just have them collected.
Oh right. Like if you crease it, it's done. It's
Yeah, I fell down that trap for a little bit. Then I realized they're shoes. The way I use my shoes, they're gonna get creases and marks and everything. I'll try and keep them clean, but they're definitely gonna be used.
don't knock sneakerheads. I mean, we think our hobby is expensive. Just wait. Just look at this.
But the sneakerheads, because you can get those toe caps you can put inside your shoe so that the toe doesn't wrinkle up, and then all the sprays and creams and everything for the outside. It's definitely its own hobby.
They even have like a second skin type of thing that you can put on the sole to like protect it.
Yes, and it has no traction.
It's like PPF for your shoes.
Very slippery. That's when I realized that it was getting too far. It was when the shoes had to be equipped with all this armor and everything on the shoes, and then if the shoes had even one little mark on them, I wouldn't wear them. That's when I knew I went too far. Then I got back into my Vans. I think Vans is my preferred shoe right now. They have a comfortable insole, so I can wear them all day, and it's a skate shoe, so it's okay if it gets a little bit of, wear on it. I think it makes it cooler.
Trey is asking you to show your controller wheel.
Oh, let me see.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for that. I'm in the kick of the bare feet shoes, the field ground shoes. Whoa! It's a steering wheel.
Interesting.
I drive with this all the time. It's a little bit bigger than your usual RC wheel. It has this bezel here, and then the wheel kind of sticks out far. So for me, I find with it being far like that, instead of being all kind of scrunched up driving the car, it allows my body to be kind of open like this. And then this thinness of this, I really like how it feels. It's very thin. You just kind of grip it, and I find I don't get as many hand cramps because the diameter is a little bit bigger. So I run this all the time.
Nice. That's cool.
Do you have the lights and the turn signal clicker like stems on it?
Put stocks.
No,
on.
not yet. No lights, no turn signal, no paddle shifters.
Oh, what would totally be clutch would be an actual quick disconnect system for it.
Yes.
Yeah, take it and run away with it when you leave your controller so no one else can use it.
That's something that I would like to do at some point, because then you can pop and switch them out.
Could you imagine just like the NRG wheels, like where you spin them and you hear the ding? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that would be so crazy.
Okay, so not to nerd out, but you have something else on your website that Lance and I are probably interested in. Hold on, let me get to it. You have customized
yeah.
keyboards.
What?
Yeah, so
What?
actually, it's literally right here. This one's mine. I don't know if you can. It will show up to the sleep.
Oh, Steel Series?
Yeah, it's hard to see it, but it's got the logo in there and everything.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
My brother makes these. My brother is amazing when it comes to tech and things like that, and so he has a business himself where he makes mechanical keyboards with all the different keycaps and the lighting schemes and the logos, and he really goes in deep with it. And so he took and created this custom keyboard for me to take and have on the site that promotes the brand, but he can do anything. So if somebody wanted this and they want it in different colors, he can do pretty much anything. Even down to, I believe he can change the feel of the keys too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know he has a plethora of, like, I don't know what they're called, but below the keys, whatever that sensor is,
The
you
switch.
can change the resistance and the sound.
Yeah, you can do
really gets into it.
springs, greases, different profiles for the switch themselves. Yeah, you can do a lot with them.
He does that. He does a lot of keyboards.
Nice.
So the
So
website
he'll theme them
doesn't
up all sorts of themes.
the website doesn't describe, other than that there's 7 variations of it. Now
It looks like keycap.
Yeah, it's just the keycap variations.
Yeah, it
He
was
made
the
those
keycap
custom
variations.
for the site.
Yeah.
But
Right.
if somebody if somebody was interested in it and they DM me or just message me through the site or whatever, we can do pretty much anything. That's just what I have there as an idea starter.
Okay. Well, as far as this picture goes, is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or
Yeah.
is there a different? Okay,
Yes.
just for those that don't know, because there's no numbers on them. There's no numbers listed.
Let me make a note about that. Let me update that.
Yeah, it's just images.
If you get a keyboard that has a knob on it, let me know.
Yes.
What kind of knob?
A big,
Um,
fat, weighted one.
Mainly, well, yeah,
Knurled.
it can be it's programmable, and usually the way that I use it is either, well, for volume knob and muting.
Oh,
Yeah.
this one has a wheel on the end of it and a button. So I know when I scroll the wheel up and down, it changes the volume. But I
Oh.
Yeah.
don't believe it has
Yeah,
a
yeah.
play stop.
No, so the word is rotary encoder is what they're usually referred to as.
If you have the wheel there, then that's fine. I just don't
The
see
scroll wheel's pretty handy too. Some keyboards have them, some don't.
Yeah.
I have 4
It's here.
keyboards
It's
at my
here on the
disposal
end.
right now.
This is it.
Wait, that's
And
not
the
the
little
same.
No, that's a SteelSeries keyboard
Yeah.
with
So-
his caps on it though.
Right.
Yeah.
But the keyboards on the side are different.
Those look like
They're 10 keyless.
They're 65s.
No, they're bigger than 65s.
No, it's just they're 10. Yeah, you're right. They're TKL. Sorry, they're 75s.
Sorry,
But-
we're
Yeah.
You guys clearly know more about this.
Yes.
keyboard.
Yeah.
You guys have
It's a-
gone
it's a
deep
problem.
with it.
I have a tote full of nothing but keyboard crap. It's a problem.
this
It looks
Logan,
like fun. I mean, it was fun to change out the keycaps and program the colors and all that.
If
I
you
can
spend
definitely
all
see how it
day
can get
sitting,
pretty crazy.
yeah, if you spend all day sitting at a computer doing designing, text typing, anything like that, you find that having a nice keyboard that feels good to you makes a huge difference.
Definitely that. And also a gaming mouse. I feel like gaming mouse is the way to go as well.
That I hate gaming mice. I use a Logitech MX Master, which is
Ergonomic
like,
one.
well, it's like the most basic, boring business mouse you can get.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the shape of them.
so this is my
Save
loudest
your wrist.
keyboard.
Oh, look at this. That's fully customized too. That's awesome.
And then this is my this is actually just like a buy and this is how you get it, but I did swap out the switches for silent switches. Yeah. I can't
You trade them
work.
back and forth.
So this one I actually take to work. Like this is my office
Mhm.
keyboard.
Oh, so you're not disturbing all your coworkers with the super loud keys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, like Logan, I can't function without a 10 key.
I can get away with it at work. At home, I can't. I spend too much time doing design work and stuff on the desktop.
Mm-hmm. I like having that number pad there. It makes it so convenient.
Yeah, if you spend a lot of time on the computer, it's handy. But
And then you get
at
one of
work, I can
these.
get away with it. Yeah, a little separate one. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's
enough of
awesome.
keyboards.
Keyboards
And
are
your
awesome.
I don't know what you call it, but your desk mat there. That's pretty cool too.
Yeah, it was like
Car dripping on it.
$20. However, don't work on your cars on this, because if you lose a screw, then you lose a screw.
Or grease stains really bad.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I accidentally grease stained this one here with just a screw. I had a little bit of grease on it, and it won't come off.
Man.
Simple green,
I was
man.
annoyed.
I tend to use just a cutting mat.
rubbed.
Cutting mat seems to be impervious to everything.
Cutting mats
Yeah.
are good. Yeah.
Trey, my keyboard is basic.
Hey man,
That's
whatever,
okay.
Whatever gets you through, it's fine.
If as long as it works, right?
As long as
still
keys
tight.
all
You
work,
still
you're
send an
good.
email.
Yeah.
I mean, he's able to type in here, so it's doing well.
Okay. Sorry, did you think we
Tangent.
were gonna go talk about keyboards on this tonight?
Hey, he opened them up. so
No,
much
not
that
at
I
all.
had
I'm
keyboards
glad
on
we
the
did.
Uh,
I'm also glad to see that there's so much knowledge on keyboards in here outside of just RC tuning knowledge.
Yeah, let us know.
Oh, dude, you just I've sucked in I think a couple people into keyboards just from them playing with mine, and then Adam started getting into it randomly. It was funny.
Yeah, because I had like the Razer and the Corsair keyboards, and then these bigger nerds came and was like, "Hey, you try this."
Yeah.
That's the problem. Once you try it and it's a little bit better, you have to have it.
Yep.
Uh,
The ignorance
First
is
one's
bliss.
always free.
yeah, it's like you never knew you needed it until you try it.
Yeah.
And it's so it's a thing. I made one of my keyboards too quiet, so like I can type fine with it, but I'm not as accurate because I can't hear the keystroke.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb.
Yep.
Okay. So now that we've got the actual logistical stuff, like the business part of things out of the way,
Business.
you wanted to talk about favorite conversions. Or at least one of the things that
Yeah,
you mentioned
so-
is favorite conversions.
Yeah, because there are so many conversions out there. What are you guys feeling lately? Or what's the
There's-
trend in your region?
Yeah. The RDX the RDX decks with like shark bits is kind of becoming popular. The Team AD decks or whatever, and then just putting a shark on it, which is like a shark with extra steps.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a shark in the end, right? Like,
Yeah, it's all it is, just a shark with a different deck.
But yeah, so we've said it multiple times on the show before that like I think this year is the generation of just Frankenstein builds, and I'm pretty sure that's probably what's going to win at SDC this coming year as well. And if
I'm excited
it-
about that.
yeah, I'm super excited. It's like the amount of customization that you can get just with standard parts now, right, is
Yeah.
so off the
Mhm.
wall.
It's not like a bunch of factory chassis with just hop-up parts anymore. It's so many different things on one chassis.
And you don't
Yeah, I
have
feel
to
like you
be
can make a whole car without starting with a base.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is nice because like when the shark first came out, it was like, how do you make a shark? Well, you either buy every single part individually, or you just buy some Junker Whiting 2 to convert. But now you can buy like the shark trans, the shark DDS, and you go buy a Team AD deck, and you can get all the hinge pins and all this other stuff really easily now, which is really nice.
It's like trying to source parts. You don't have to be on like a certain group or a certain site that like only releases like batch per batch because it's such a niche thing, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
it's actually we have conversions for conversions for conversions, and
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed in my local region as well, Frankenstein builds are starting to become a thing. Just out of the fun of doing it and seeing what will happen.
Like my
I would love to do one. I'm debating on doing one at some point. I have to get more hip to whatever the new parts are because I feel like there's so many parts. I think I would go about it just probably putting a DDSS of some sort on the front, but then from there I'd just be going with what looks cool. But I think there's probably some more knowledge and research I should put into it than just looking cool,
I mean,
because I would end up just slamming a car basically and having all this stuff on it, but maybe it wouldn't work together.
well, that's the fun part of it, right? like I feel that we're to the point where you have such a good box stock car now. Like, yeah, it needs a little bit of help to match your style, but you can buy a competition ready car right from the get-go, right? And then to open it up to your own personalization. Like my most normal off the wall car is a so it's referred to as a Yogi, or at least part of it is
Yogi.
yeah,
right.
so it's got a DDSS up front, it's got a GALM transmission in the rear, but I've altered that to where it's a high motor and high battery on that.
Oh wow, okay.
So I do want to try to change that to a fantasy front end, because I think that would do well with the high weights or shift. So keeping my eyes open for those when I have the money.
Did you go for the GALM transmission for a particular reason, or you had one?
No, he did not have one.
Yeah,
He definitely did not have one.
I mean, so GALM was kind of always in the spectrum of terms of cars that I wanted to try, but everyone's that I did try, aside from Alex's, because like when Alex had his, we were like, it drove fine, but it definitely wasn't my style, and GALM style is still not my style. So with all these other changes, it makes me like, it's better.
I see. My teammates Ben and Eddie both have GALMs, and I feel like they said that it's been a challenge to really get their cars to do what they want. I feel like they drive with a lot of focus when they drive those cars. So now they've moved into some new chassis, but they look really cool.
And I think it's because you have to,
the way they have them built.
You have to think about it, because the way that the chassis drives just naturally, it's not like the raw, like, hard driving style that a lot of us have, right? It's a very different driving feel. Here, let's do not that. Yeah. So this is what it is, and
okay, I see your high mount on there.
Yeah, so it's just a
DDSS.
hodgepodge of a lot of different things here. It's not on the actual Yogi deck anymore. It's on an MC1 deck. And it's not
this
on...
is a true Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's not... I
was
had
this
it
what
on...
you set out to build from the beginning, or did it just kind of become this?
There's been a lot of evolution in this. Like, technically, there are 2 transmission screws right here that are not being... Or, sorry, you can see them. They're just right there, that aren't being used. But other than that, like, oh, it's a belt drive system. Ooh.
Belt.
2 belt.
Yeah, 2 belt.
So it's super quiet, very smooth.
Yeah, all for kicks and giggles. Like, this is not my competition machine by any means. But it works, and it works decent enough where it's like, it's not slow. It can keep up in a train. And it's fun to play because it's a high CG type of thing.
I see Ben in the chat talking about driving his GALM, which is true. Yeah. We switched cars out for a little bit, and I had so much fun with this GALM. At Super G, I found on the big straightaway with his particular car, you could just take and just throw it super early, recklessly towards the wall, and somehow it would just pull it out. It would make it around the turn right on the wall every time. But I feel like you have to drive it like that all the time. That's the way I prefer to be driven. I had a lot of fun with it. I liked it.
Basically, Adam gets bored and grabs random parts and says, I wonder if I could... Yeah.
Well,
I'm seeing it.
Yeah. This weirdness, man.
That's cool.
Rubber tires today, man. Like, had to do something different. And who is RC Drift AZ Arizona?
That is Tyler from Tandem.
Ah, okay.
Very cool guy. We drive together quite a bit. he also does a lot of cool videos on YouTube as well, as far as track driving videos and things like that.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm definitely planning to not make this a long stream because both Lance and I need to wake up early tomorrow. Are you coming up tomorrow, Lance?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
It's comp day.
It is comp day. You never know.
Yeah, I know. I gotta leave the house at like 7:30.
Are you guys up comp tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah.
SDC tomorrow.
Excellent.
Yep.
So everything's dialed in, ready to go.
Yeah, I have
Hopefully
We have ours next weekend.
all of my video camera stuff is all packed up and ready to go.
That's awesome. See that new post when it gets up there.
I don't even know if I want to pack a car tomorrow.
Just take all your camera gear only.
Only camera gear. Because at the max, it'll be two trips. Or the minimum, it'll be 2 trips.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into that part of the stream where we do some roasting of the rigs. If you haven't posted, go ahead and post them now, and we'll try to get through all of them, which there aren't too many right now, so it should be pretty easy. The hardest part about this is trying to figure out where we stopped the last time. Okay. Which I think we are here. So let's switch it over. Oh, we don't want that one. Not that view. Not that view. That one.
Eric. That's cool.
Yeah, I can turn off that. There we go. There we go. So this is Dorifito MY. It's a Biddy Designs TTO2 truck body. I think this would be a fun
body.
Yeah, these if it wasn't for like having to modify the rear end, this would be a great body to have.
Oh no, that's okay. You just need the new chassis I'm working on.
I've seen these on track. They look pretty cool.
They are cool. I have one of the man versions of them. The problem is they end up very, very, very front heavy.
That's fine. More steering, right?
Yeah, but it makes traction kind of hard. It's like trying to drive an FXX stock. It's kind of tough.
You just need a bigger wing.
Yeah, no, that's
more weight, more weight in the rear. Just load it up and a trailer. Oh, there was something I saw online where somebody was, I believe it was one of these with a trailer behind it that was very high and they're drifting below it.
Under it, yeah.
That's something I would love to try at some point.
Yeah, I've seen them come and go a couple times. I've also seen some of them put the actual Tamiya hard bodies on like TTO2s and drift those, and the cab rocks around. Yeah, the cab actually bounces around and stuff. It was really cool.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Like one of the ones that has, it's like they have
scale
like
ones.
the rumble engine in it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Like
those are so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was years ago I saw that. It was hilarious though.
Okay, so this is from the same guy. Instantly looking back here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he didn't have enough double-sided sticky tape.
No. You know what happened is the ESC broke in half like my Toro did, and he's zip tying it to hold the ESC together. The sandwich.
Yeah, there's some stuff going on back there. What's going on with
I don't know.
It's a tuning option for sure.
You ran out of double-sided tape. You definitely ran out of tape.
Although that's not how.
That's a better shot. There we go.
This is an RDX. That's not how.
I don't know. It's not how it mounts on the back.
Well, this isn't the stock
It
rear.
looks like there's a bit of tape under it though.
I don't know.
There's something under it.
Maybe the tape wasn't strong enough, or they're just slinging it so hard that they just want every bit of security they can get.
Well, I mean, that's got to be some sort of custom mounting position because that's not how the stock RDX plate is.
Not straight off the back like that.
Yeah, because that's not the stock rear shock tower either. So something is.
Oh, you're right. It's not. Wait.
Is that a Yokomo one?
It's a Yokomo fan.
No, but that's a carbon fiber tower.
Yeah, it's a carbon fiber tower.
What is that?
So there's definitely
okay.
some tuning going on back there with that.
Yeah, that's a little unusual.
What else do we got?
Up front, it looks fine. There's no bumper. Up front, it seems okay.
He's got an NOS bottle.
Yeah, he's got a NOS bottle.
Not an NOS bottle.
He's one of the lucky ones.
Yep.
Alex, if we can get some more of those, it would be so awesome.
Okay, here's another semi-body. Oh, it didn't go. Here we go.
I don't know what one that is. That looks like a Volvo.
I think it's one of the stock TT02 ones.
No. That's not the man body. It's an Isuzu body.
This looks like it might be Lexan.
Oh, it's definitely Lexan, but it's not one I've seen. I haven't seen that Isuzu body before.
Look at the wheels. It's got the truck wheels on it.
It does have the truck wheels.
That's dope.
The wheels are rad.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I would love to see that on track.
Weight bias.
Oh, this is a serious one.
Oh my god.
Wait.
So front heavy. Like I was saying.
I gotta zoom in
Hold
on
on.
the weight here.
That's
Front weight, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 5644.
What is it?
Wow.
That's backwards. He should be driving that backwards.
This goes back to what Lance was saying before about the front heavy.
There are so front heavy because it's all right.
So rear
on the
traction
front
is going to
tires.
be
Yeah,
a
it's hard.
struggle for sure.
Oh,
It's a big struggle.
It's an old wrap-up FRD. So it is front motor.
Okay, so
too.
it is front motor. Oh my god, that's front motor with a cab over. That's so heavy.
I would love to just try this out and see what this feels like.
Just not on concrete.
No, I
Carpet-
was gonna say like carpet.
It'd be a ripper.
Carpet would be great.
Yeah, for sure. Get a little bit of traction.
Wow, because the back would just be basically pendulum around the front wheels.
All the time.
That thing's gonna be
Yeah.
spinning.
That's crazy.
We've got Chris's our Chris, his old this is his old body, I think.
The Yaris.
Was it?
I think the only way we find out is this could be the new one.
I think this is a new one.
That's
I think
clean.
the only way that we know is it's new. Okay. Wait, can't
I have
be
nothing
new.
to roast on this one. This one
Look
looks
at
pretty
that.
clean. It looks like it's
What
been
is that?
used. It's good.
It's battle damage.
I feel like a couple scratches always help.
Yeah.
Chris, I think you need to update your wheel choice. And I know.
You know, with the Hot Boy wheels,
Have you? I mean, this fits his style,
It does.
but he could get so much more.
It's okay. He's slowly getting them there. We finally got him, good traction with the rear arms the other week.
Yeah, Chris is kind of a hot
Little
boy
bit.
guy.
A little bit at a time.
I respect it. Hot Boy all the way.
You should see his Subaru.
It's also really low. This car is incredibly low. So I'm assuming this is set up pretty stiff.
An RDX.
It's getting better. It was really, really stiff. It's getting better though.
I'm sorry, it's an ADX with. It's pretty much a full ADX chassis with the RDX rear. It needs the lab center caps. Probably.
Wait, lab center caps? So I have some of these wheels new in the package. I've not taken them out yet. But now if I know there's some center caps, maybe that will be a reason to do it.
Yeah.
Make a note of that. I'll definitely find a car to put those in.
A Slideworks body.
It's cool.
I like
This
the
looks serious.
mismatch. VSK's up front and then something else in the back. Looks like kind of like Minerva's. That's good. I like split style.
Yeah, I
split
feel like
rims.
this car can get down.
He needs some
Big low style wing. I like that.
He needs the Airwolf end plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
Although
Those clear ones.
Yeah,
And a blinky light exhaust up the back, I think would complete this.
Yeah.
E-Space sliders.
the way to get it done.
Which I finally checked. They have their exhaust kit and their dual exhaust kits actually available online.
Are they in stock again? Oh, good.
Yeah.
I need some of those.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a clean build.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a little tiny thing.
Oh, is that one of the
Wow.
new rhinos?
This is Sean's
Yeah.
This is
baby shark.
It's a baby
Small
shark.
scale
Well,
here.
it's a micro shark.
It looks like a normal car, not in a bad way. It looks like a normal car.
Like that meme when you shop on Temu.
Yeah. It's the same thing, just really, really tiny.
Man, okay.
Oh.
If
There's a lot of stuff going on in here.
this came anodized in purple
Oh, that'd be sweet.
all the way down.
I didn't know that they made tiny little 2S hard cases like that would fit in there.
Yeah, I didn't know about
It
the
looks
hard
like
case.
it looks like a tiny little.
It does.
Normal hard
I've never
case.
seen one of those.
I've never seen that with tiny little bullets on them. I've never seen that. It's really clean though for how small.
Yep.
There's
Yeah,
not
and
a
this
lot of
shot, this
wiring in
almost
that.
looks as if it could be a 10 scale.
And Sean
I
does
I like
have
the
a
little
full
magnet
video.
movers, too.
Sean has his video building it, which apparently his basically came almost pre-built anyway. Like it was more modular of a build than like actually putting parts together.
Yeah.
And then he
Mhm.
actually, and then the second video is him actually driving it
How does it drive?
like a tiny car.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of these drive really well, and I've seen some of them have a little bit of challenges. But I'm imagining just getting all the alignment and everything correct on such a small vehicle is tough.
It can be. These aren't terribly terrible. I think the quality's a little better on them, but the
My
small
thing
parts
is-
get annoying.
Is that like on P-Tile, these things are just as fast as big cars.
They
as
are.
their 10
Yeah,
scale
for sure.
counterparts.
Yep.
Mhm.
They are.
Yeah, they can train
stupid
really nice.
fast.
I notice on this one, it doesn't look like it's running the staggered tire setup that I usually see.
Like,
I wonder if there's
Oh,
something
yeah.
to that.
They usually run those little narrow ones up front, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's running the same ones front and back.
I think that's what's tricking me to thinking it's a 1/10 scale from the photos here. Looks cool like that.
hi Rob.
Vinyl mat. Oh, that's what the little tracks are. They're vinyl mats.
Which I think that's the coolest part. Like you can literally just buy the track and then just lay it flat
Mhm.
out.
Yeah, that's
Roll
a
it
nice
out.
idea. I like that.
We got some guys out here that run them.
The price still is too high for me. It's just as much as the 10 scale.
On the low end though, but still, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's still $450, $500.
I've had a lot of guys say to go ahead and get one, but I already find having more than one chassis is already, for me, a lot of stuff to get around and do and just think about. I like things to be kind of simple, and I doubt I would get as much seat time with a smaller car. I kind of, over this, I prefer driving a Mini Z, but then again, I'm not drifting with my Mini Z. I'm just driving it for fun.
Yeah. Those things
But
are
as far as something to be on
fast.
my desk to look at, this would be awesome.
No, it looks nice. It's really clean.
Yeah, it's a really clean build.
Not an RC.
Oh, is that Logan's new whip?
That is Logan's new car, new whip.
Oh, it's in Roast My Rig.
Logan, if I ever see you, take me for a ride.
Logan,
This is Rally. This is Rally.
be better.
No, this is fine. This is Subaru. You
This
go up.
is Rally.
You go up in Subarus, not down.
You can get a little bit of air under the whole car and land and still be okay.
Does he need a vape kit now?
Yeah. He also needs the OEM wind deflectors because those things are amazing up here.
Good choice on the
this
bronze
is-
wheels though. Always love that combination.
Don't like the design
go
of the
wrong with
wheels.
It's
It's
like
definitely
a very,
Rally. in my mind.
Well, yeah, it's classic colors, but I'm not a fan of the design of
Oh,
them.
I'm sorry. They are gold wheels, not bronze.
Eh,
The
Close
wheels on
enough.
my car are bronze.
yours are bronze, yeah.
It's not a whole lot to roast on your car there, Logan.
It's outside, under a cover.
At least it's under a cover.
Yeah, that's a point.
You drive it every day.
Shiny. He needs to black out the badges. That's what he needs to do.
Now, I just want to ask the question again. How are you going to get all the track equipment in that? Just saying.
Yeah.
You can eat on the wing.
Right.
Get a roof box. Put everything in the roof box.
We got Trey.
So Trey has been a big track bully to me recently. We really have it out on the track sometimes. We ended up getting on each other's door a lot. So, but we're not zoomed in close enough where I can see any of the marks I would have put on his door there.
Oh. I'm not sure we're going to see it on this one. If there are.
Maybe
any.
not.
Hey, wait, whoa. This can't be legal. Is this legal? Look at that wheel poke.
No,
you
gotta look at it from the
I don't think
front.
it's usually like that, actually.
Look at the next picture. He's fine. See? He's fine. He's got the little black fendery bit.
Oh, it's under the fenders.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's
it
all
just
right.
looks bad from the back.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, he's fine. Totally
Okay.
legal.
Oh, look, a ball diff.
Right where it should be, on the bench.
Oh, good man.
I hate ball
It should be in
diffs.
the car, man.
Look,
Ryan,
good
I
man.
like the ball lift all the way. It's got on the scales with the plastic on the scale still.
Yeah, he's one
Wow.
to not remove the plastic.
He's got to keep it
That way
nice
he can
and
upgrade
primo.
later. He can just fit it right back in the box and it's brand new again.
Yep.
Or, like,
New open box.
we can look at all of those. We can
Jeez.
look at the
That's
MIP
good.
tool set.
The random heat gun in the corner on the stool on the stack of magazines. Oh, there's a case though.
Rocket.
Auto wraps.
Look, he's got the case covered in something. What is that?
It's top secret.
Top secret.
No, it's top line.
A lot of gear going on there.
A lot going on.
Oh, actually, let's take it back to one of Trey's question. What I think, if this is the question, what tool or device in this hobby has changed the way that you do things? I think that was the question.
What tool, as far as not
Like-
necessarily something that's put on the car, but just a tool in general?
Yeah, so what tool or device have you discovered, or method? It might just be method or
Calipers.
thing.
Calipers. So when I first got into it, I noticed I was having trouble doing the alignment and I didn't really know much about the alignment. So I bought one of those setup rigs where you take the wheels off and you put your car in that big jig and you get all your numbers and everything. And I was bringing that setup jig to the track every time I would go. And anytime I would want to adjust my camber or anything on the car, I would put it on the full setup jig and then do all the little adjustments, put the car back together, run a lap to realize I don't like it, take it back and put it on the setup jig. And I was thinking, this is taking up.
It's
half
gotta
of
be
the
an
track
easier
time
way.
going back and forth.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I was like,
God.
this is crazy. And then I looked around, I saw nobody else was doing it that way. So I was like, okay, clearly this is not the way to do it.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
Keith at GGT, I noticed he was using calipers. He would kind of eyeball it, then he'd use the calipers to get it dialed in. And so I asked him about that. And he said he doesn't use the setup jig. He just knows what it's going to look like. And now I understand what he means by it.
Yeah.
But at the time, the calipers was the biggest tool that helped me out. To the point now I don't even use the setup jig anymore.
Are
Yeah,
they digital
was-
calipers?
Yeah, actually they're right here.
Yeah,
Hey, Jake.
I was
Hey,
I was
Jake.
thinking that too. I was thinking calipers, but mine's the big ones.
Oh, you big one.
Big ones was this 300 millimeter calipers are kind of
That's
like
awesome.
Yeah.
You put that in
those
your pit bag?
No, that's like on my desk 100% of the
Oh.
time for any time I'm at home working on shit. It's
So can I have you guys hold yours up too? Like just
I mean, it's not how big it is that really matters. I mean,
no.
Visuals.
No, it's not anything.
No,
about
no,
that.
they all work.
Yeah,
They're not
hey,
broken.
Hey, Jake, they all work. They all turn on.
Yes. Jake's
Buy
calipers
a
and
new
pit
one.
bags are destroyed.
it's running and it's set.
Yeah. I thought about this one. Whatever.
Jake, buy new calipers.
Buy new calipers, Jake. Yes.
I understand that
anytime-
yours still work.
Anytime he grabs them to do stuff, he's like, I'm like, what are you doing with these? They don't work. They're broken. They're smashed. It's so dumb.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'd say calipers was a big one, and recently, very recently, for the turnbuckles, an MIP turnbuckle tool rather than the small little aluminum one that comes with the Yokomo kits. That was getting me through, but now they have the longer MIP one that's angled. I prefer that.
Yeah, those are really good.
With all of my Frankensteining, I found that the ProTech kit, so it's a different size on each end, and then so it goes from 3, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, and 5 and 5, 5, something like that. And of course, I have the MIP one, but man, they come in clutch so many times just because like Overdose is different, Yokomo is different, Rhino Racing, the ones that come with the DDSS are like super tiny.
There's
Yeah.
3
So
mil,
it's like
3.5 or something weird
They're
like
3 mil.
that.
I wonder
Yeah.
why that is. So when I purchased that, I was on vacation. This was actually during October, so I was still in California driving up and down the coast visiting people. And I assembled the DDSS on my car, and I meant to go to Super G and GGT just to run it and see how it went. But I couldn't turn the little turnbuckles because I didn't have a tool for that. And so I had to basically borrow somebody's tool, and then I ended up 3D printing a tool. I should probably buy one eventually, but the 3D
I found
printed
one
one seems to be
that's,
working pretty good.
Yeah, I found one that's a 3 mil, but it was hard to find a 3 mil turnbuckle wrench. They're
Mhm.
actually not easy to find.
And they don't include one in the kit either.
Mm-mm.
No,
Nope.
everybody's borrowing one.
Yep.
Unless you get the multi-tool where it's got both ends, that's probably going to be the next thing that I get. But then I got that MIP wrench, so I don't know if MIP makes another one in a smaller size. I bet you they do. Maybe that'd be the way to go.
I
I think they make it for mil. Yeah, I think they do. They make a
I should
couple, I
probably
believe.
pick those up.
Yeah, they're worth it. The MIP stuff was really good.
Yeah,
But is it still, since they got bought out?
But it is for now because if you're buying old stock still, I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
Hopefully.
I would hope so. I don't know. Yeah, I forgot they got bought out.
It was
That was a while ago.
was it A Main that bought them out?
I think so.
I don't remember. Okay, that concludes Roast My Rig because no one else wants to post in the Roast My Rig section.
It's been slow. People haven't been getting new swell other than Judd. People haven't been getting new stuff.
Yeah, other than Judd getting. Yeah, Judd has way too much stuff.
Yeah.
There,
this day right here that's showing in the photo was a fun day with everybody on track. We had a lot of people from different places in there. It was a cool time to see different people's driving styles and stuff that day. That's the same day my transmission blew up, so I actually didn't really get to drive with anybody that day. But
Oh no. That's
towards the end of the day, I got some time in.
yeah.
I was gonna post the camera setup, but I've decided not to. Oh my
Your
gosh,
personal camera
Trey,
setup?
what in the
Whoa.
world?
Battery fire there.
That's what it
terrifying.
is. It's a bad battery bin.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a bad battery bin. That's
Yeah,
terrifying.
that's a fire waiting to happen.
Looks
I
like
can
there's
just imagine all
some
those expanded batteries in there.
That is super sketchy.
like hand
Hopefully,
sanitizer.
this is outside somewhere inside the sand.
No, it's like in the bathroom probably.
Oh, this makes me nervous. Especially having seen a lipo fire now, it's pretty significant.
Not fun. Yeah, that's
No.
bad news.
Here recently, I just got a ammo can, so I could take and put the lipo bag in the ammo can just as an extra precaution.
Cut out in the back side of the hinge where it opens. In the back of it, there's the two corners. Cut out a little bit of the grommet in the corners, because if the battery goes up in that when it's closed, you've basically just created a grenade.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, you want the
just
gas
like a little
to be
pressure
able to,
relief.
Exactly. Yes, because they have that rubber seal all the way around it, and if a battery does go in there, you've created a bomb. So
I'm glad you told me that, because I definitely don't.
You want the gas to get out somehow, but not fire.
I'm gonna do that immediately.
Yeah, I've done that on all of mine. Just it helps.
Thanks for
that. That's like the bat safe ones you buy, those like lunchbox looking ones. They've got
those are
a
vented.
couple little. Yeah, but they have vents in them so the gas can get out and the pressure can't build up. You don't need to take out the whole seal, but having a couple slits in it just so the gas gets out is enough.
Will do. You guys, I need like 2 seconds to use the bathroom.
Go for it.
Is that something we could do?
Yeah. I'm trying to just post some pictures here.
All right, I'll be right back. I'll make it.
Okay, they did post. So, for you guys that are coming to the competition tomorrow, this massive mess of everything is what I'm bringing.
Oh,
so we got a big daddy camera. We got a tiny camera. We've got a full mixer board.
You are bringing the full mixer board?
Yeah, because
I'm debating about that.
Because I can actually control everyone's like volume. Like from a slider than actually like turning a knob or like moving a virtual slider.
You need like a smaller, like, what do they call them, stream decks or whatever, that's programmable. That's what you need.
I mean, but so it's either that or, well, no, because that doesn't give me the adjustability of like per channel. At least I don't think so.
They make tiny mixer boards too, you know.
Right, but I don't want to have to buy a new one. This one I've had from the DJing weddings and stuff like that.
I'll find you one.
I mean, in reality of it, like, it's all fun. Oh, look. Yeah. So this here is a picture of,
whoa.
So Lance found an awesome camera, and we're going to be using it for our streaming setup for competition. It's a Panasonic UX90.
Yeah.
So it does some pretty cool stuff. I even have enough camera gear to supply the small cam with an additional monitor too.
This is serious.
So we're gonna have 3 microphones going, 2 cameras, one main chase camera, and then the other camera can be like another whatever follow camera or just an alternate thing.
Do you guys have somebody behind all these cameras, or is it just set up and you just go like that?
So I'm usually the follow cam. I'll be following it.
Yeah.
Last
time you had one set up at the far end by the start at the first corner, which worked pretty good.
Which was a static camera, which did no good for trying to watch it on a phone. Logan, that bear was bought from Costco. If you're wondering, it's this monstrosity thing in the corner.
Oh,
I see.
There's also a dog under there that's of the same size too.
That's funny.
Anyway, yeah, both bought from Costco. Okay,
so you bring all that equipment to the track plus your car?
No, that's why it's not bringing the car.
Oh,
that's too much equipment, not enough room.
I understand where you're coming from on that. That's quite a bit of stuff to set up and run and then drive if you want to drive on top of that.
Yeah,
Well-
I'll just steal someone's car.
Yeah, like anything else, the stream thing has snowballed pretty hard.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
started out really, really simple, and at first we were just trying to do like static cams like Super G does that we switch between, and that was like getting hard to find solutions for.
Well, we didn't
Yeah.
even get to the point where we tried it. We just went like,
Well, we
Cameras
tried
are-
it. Yeah, we tried it, but we never streamed it because it just didn't work. You were playing with it at Northwest a bit.
that's because we were using
Yeah.
cams, like
Yeah,
the
I
little
know.
IP
But it was like all
cameras.
we could find. Yeah, and then started doing the streaming thing at PDX, and it snowballed.
Yep.
I think it's pretty cool that you guys are able to actually get all that content out there like that so people can see it.
As long as Jake doesn't upload a video,
Yeah, we need to kick people off the Wi-Fi.
we can unplug those Wi-Fi hotspots, and
That
then
would be-
totally
yeah.
fine.
That would be a
Hopefully.
good idea tomorrow. No,
Although we can't unplug the main one because I think the POS system is connected to that network.
oh gosh. Okay, yeah. No, we just need to tell people to turn off their Wi-Fi on their phones.
Yeah. We intend to set up some static cams ASAP. So, okay. That's fine.
Are you guys able to get
Sort of
footage off the camera? So like if you have it running as everybody's on track, are you able to take and chop footage out for people in the moment, or do you have to wait till it's all finished recording and then you can pull it off of there?
For like a review or
Yeah.
for so technically YouTube, so no, basically no, my setup is only streaming to YouTube and it's not recording anything else at the
okay.
moment. So my setup is strictly for entertainment and not to be used for verification of a run,
Mhm.
which is where I think their static cameras are going to be coming in.
Yeah,
So
especially
I-
like key zones or far from the judges or something like that.
Yeah, so I think we're still gonna have both. Like we'll have my setup, and then their setup will just be used for
For
judging.
judging. Yeah, your setup is better suited for streaming. The
Mhm.
security system, the frame rate isn't great.
Well, it depends on what they have, because I did hear
Depends on
about,
what you get. Yeah,
I did hear mention of like 60 FPS and like the fun words or the trigger words that we want, but none of it's cheap.
no,
None
And
of it's
then-
ever cheap.
better internet is ideal.
I want to message Ozbot and see if they want to send us over one of their tail airs and see if it like performs to what they think it should, because
I
it's
haven't
supposed to
tried
be it's AI tracking, so you should be able to like
Oh.
highlight it and it should follow.
Oh,
The
that'd
only
be-
thing
Oh,
that it
cool.
doesn't do is I don't think it'll zoom automatically.
Mhm. That'd be cool though. That could be handy.
Locally, we have a guy named Aaron that records like that. He has his software where you can take and tap on a car or a person or whatever, and it'll track it. And it's pretty
Mhm.
amazing what it can do like that, as far as your editing time and all that.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
never thought about that.
But it all comes down to this, Sean Lewis.
Money.
Money,
Yeah.
money, money.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's definitely not cheap. The camera that Lance found is definitely not cheap. Secondhand.
No. God.
Anyway,
It's-
beyond that, Logan, I want 3 to 4 static cams in the ceiling looking straight down.
It's gonna have to be a really wide angle though, because you're like 6 feet off the ground.
Do the same moment. Same moment. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, you guys. It is that time. It is pretty much 11 o'clock. So we're going to be wrapping things up here. Christopher, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Raw Component. You can find me on Facebook. Just search for Christopher Hawkins. You'll see my face in a black and white picture. Or you can email me at lejeandesign@gmail.com or rawcomponent@gmail.com. Those are all the places to reach me online.
Now, you said that you weren't very active on social media. So is that something
This
that we
is
just
true.
need to like kind of poke you at? And so you
You
become
can
that
poke.
person?
You can poke, or I check my DMs all the time. So anybody getting hold of me through there, I'm there, or I will answer messages. But as far as posting and being on all day, it's unlikely.
Gotcha. All right. And then Lance is Lance.
Yep. Yeah.
I am me. Do you have anything else to say
Indeed,
to the to the rest of the crowd, Chris?
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'd like to shout out all my friends, my family, my local tracks, my teams. Thanks everybody for the support on that. I really appreciate it. And also thank you to you guys here for putting on this great show. It's much appreciated.
Man.
Yeah.
When we do, and go ahead and hang out for a little bit longer, because we'll just kind of do a roundup and talk about things. But I do want to reach out to y'all. If you do want to be on the show, send me a DM. We're always looking for people to fill in slots. If someone's out or if we just need a new guest, we've got new openings starting, I think. Well, hold on. Let me check my DMs right now. I have an open slot next week. And then, yeah. So if you're interested, just hit me up, because hopefully it's fun for whoever's being on. And it's always just a good time. Meeting new people, being able to put faces to names, all that fun stuff. But
That's literally the coolest part about this, is seeing the faces of everybody.
Right?
And their personality, obviously. But yeah, seeing their face.
Yeah.
Like I was actually thinking about like the whole purpose of the show, and it's like we just have a lot of cool people on the show. Like I don't know what would happen if it went back to like the old days where it was just like me and someone
John.
else.
Yeah. You and one person. Yeah. Not against
I did like those tutorials you would put on. Those tutorials were spot on.
Yeah, except I ran out of things to do because I don't have any
wasn't
new
any more
things.
tutorials to do. Yeah.
I might make a YouTube short on them. I say a lot of things, but I haven't done them yet. So yeah, maybe on the front. I've been hitting Instagram pretty hard lately though, so that's been a lot of time. Anyways,
Yep.
I'm gonna press this end stream button here. We're gonna get it to end it off. So thank you guys for coming and joining us. Do the like, share, subscribe thing, and yeah, all that fun stuff. Take care, and we will see you next week. Later.